right. Hope everybody is good. Prop your feet up, grab your favorite libation or coffee or tea or whatever it is that applies, and let's do some mini readings. Hey, Lisa, good to see your beautiful self. Hey, Nikki, I got you on the list. I know you saw that. How's everybody doing this evening? What's up? What's up? Hey, girly, what's up? Venus Jim, what's up, girl? Good to see your beautiful self. All right, everybody, y'all ready? Let's get started. We're gonna do the thing. Oh, I went too far back. Hold on a minute. Where am I going here? Let me get to where I need to be. All right, here we go. We're gonna clear some energy here. All right, y'all ready? Let's put this over here. We might make this a little bit bigger for you guys. Is that okay? Is that big enough? I don't know. Let's do this. Let's make it a little bit here. Let me get it here where I can get to it. There we go. All right. Perfect. Zip what's it? Ha! That's funny, Ultraviolet. How you doing? Let's clear some energy, folks. Let's do the sound bowl. We always do the thing, right? Let's do it. Here we go. All right, there we go. Hey, Leo, son, how you been? Good to see ya. That's a cute, your image there, the Leo image with the sun's really pretty. Y'all look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Cute, cute, cute. Very cute. Very cute, very cute. Well, hello, Mr. Jess. How you been? What's up, what's up? Good to see you. All right, let's put this right here. All right. Delaney, well, hello. How are you? Thank you so much. Angel Eyes, how you doing, beautiful? Good to see you. How's it going? How's it going? All right. Aileen is up first, and Aileen is up for advice. I do like to, let's get Aileen's, if she left me her zodiac sign. She did. Aileen is a Taurus. And Aileen is looking for advice, and we are going to do that for Aileen. All right, let me timestamp for Aileen. There we go. All right. What does Aileen the Taurus need to know? What does Aileen the Taurus need to know? What does Aileen the Taurus need to know? Give me some advice, please, for Aileen the Taurus. Give me advice for Aileen the Taurus. Aileen, I believe that you have an important decision. You may already be looking at making a decision about something, and it may not be choosing between two people or two things, and this may not even be romance related. But what I feel like, Aileen, is the cards are telling you that if you don't already know about a decision to move forward on something, you're going to have that. It could be... My cards, it could even be a financial decision. My cards are telling me, Aileen, go slow in making this decision. When you are first presented with information, it may seem as though you have all the information that you need. But my cards are saying, wait, there is more information that you don't have, all right? And so not to make an immediate decision, dot your I's and cross your T's, all right? And especially if this is some sort of a contractual decision that requires like signing some paperwork or something like that, even really romance. You know, Mercury retrograde is not the ideal time to make those types of decisions. I'm not going to tell people not to make those decisions during Mercury retrograde because life's, okay? But what I am going to say is this: make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. The other thing that I get about this whole thing, Aileen, don't be afraid to ask the hard questions, particularly around this decision, this information that you're presented with. Okay, poke and probe. Ask the questions that you may be a little bit hesitant to ask, and certainly we can use tact, but at the same time, ask the questions you need to ask to get the information you need. And if that risks pissing someone off, then perhaps there is your answer. So that's what I get. I almost get that you're going to be presented with some information, and I think if you don't take the time to really poke and probe around this thing, you're going to end up with regret around whatever this decision is. It could be buyer's remorse, it could be regretting a relationship, or something of that nature. Okay, so that's what your advice came out for you, Aileen, and I hope that is helpful. Hey, Deborah Davis. Hey, Jasmina. Zero the Hero. Good evening. How are you? But that's what I've got, Aileen. And I hope that is helpful to you. All right. Nikki is up next. Let me timestamp for Nikki. Here we go, Nikki. Oh, you are welcome. Was that you? Venus Jim? Is that you that I just, are you Aileen? What a beautiful name, by the way. But let's read for Nikki. That was you. Okay. All right. Well, I hope that was helpful for you. I hope that is something that is going to help you now or at some point fairly soon. I think you're going to go back to Auntie Karen said this would happen. Right. All right, Nikki Boo. This is Necessary Truths. All right. Recently started a new job. Advice or insights you can give on it would be great. Advice for me about the team, etc. Let's see if we can make some observations about the work setting and the workplace and get you some advice. Let's check in on Nikki's workplace and see what she needs to know in navigating. What does Nikki need to know in navigating? Thank you, Zero. Okay, good, Venus Jim. Good. Does Nikki need to know around the workplace? Help us out with, hold on a minute. Help us out, okay. Help us out with the workplace. Hey, beautiful Laura. What's up? Help us out with the workplace. Help us out with the workplace for Nikki. What do we need to know for Nikki to be able to navigate? Why do I get a lot of distractions? I don't know. I'm just feeling that. This may be a place that's hard to concentrate. What does Nikki need to know to navigate the workplace? So, in general, this is going to be the vibe of the place, all right? The vibe of the workplace is very, they're very cautious. They're very cautious. And as such, it's going to sometimes be a little bit bothersome, especially to you as a Sag, okay? We don't like when things feel stagnant. We don't like when people are afraid of their own shadow. I mean, I'm telling you what I'm seeing in the cards, and I'll even tell you the cards. Six of Swords in reverse, Tower reversed, Hangman in the upright. That is a very we don't need to, we need to be very careful. We don't need to go that direct. We don't need to move forward just yet because it could end in disaster. Oh, we need to think about this some more. Oh, we need to think about it to the point of stagnancy. And I think that's going to be challenging for you. Okay. I think they're so afraid of something blowing up that they're afraid to take leaps of faith to the point that it keeps them stagnant. They, in business, and I've worked for all kind of companies, so I know you kind of get what I'm saying here. I've worked for a number of different companies, and there is one right now that's coming to mind that I worked with or for in the role of VP Finance when I was, this would be now 30 years ago, almost, okay? And the CEO, my immediate supervisor, was the epitome of paralysis by analysis and so worried about optics. And optics are important in business, I get it. But optics don't ignore when a company is stagnant either, okay? And the dude would analyze and analyze and analyze and have meeting after meeting after meeting. I mean, I'm just going to give you an example. Now, this is back in the day. We were looking at, offering video conferencing services as a service to other people, okay? And that should have been something that took about a month tops to research, do all the due diligence, and it was my project to research, to do all the due diligence, to compare different options of how to offer that, and get it in place. We met for over a year because it's just like he just kept getting stuck in the minutia. All right, and I almost feel like that's going to be the challenge here. And I think that's going to be tough for you as a Sag. It was tough for me as a Gemini because you and I have one very big thing in common. We don't, number one, we don't have patience. And number two, we hate fearful people. We just really do. Hey, Vanessa, I saw you, girl. And so I think that's going to be the challenge. So I almost think the advice is to settle in and reconcile the fact that you're here, and you've got to do the best you can to navigate in a situation that may feel very stagnant. And that may even so much as apply to your own growth there. But I think this is more about the way that the company moves, if you will. Okay. Or doesn't move is probably a better way to put it. One thing about business is you have to understand that this is a changing world, and if you're not if you're a business that is afraid of change, you will die. You will absolutely die. I mean, how many businesses have we seen over the years and the decades for that could not adapt, okay, to a changing world, and as such, they're defunct. They don't even exist anymore, right? And so I think that's I don't see this being a long term. I ain't even pulling cards on this, Nikki, this part. But what I'm telling you is I don't see that. Knowing you as a Sag, and I've known you for a bit. You're an energetic Sag. I mean, you very much possess a lot of the Sagittarian traits. You're not going to be stagnant. You're not going to be still. You're moving. You're fast, and I like that. I'm a Gemini. I don't see you staying here for a long time. I see you finding something that's more suited to you. Do I think it's a bad place? No, I think it's going to drive you nuts. So I think your best bet in navigating. Yes. Oh my God. She just said, does anyone remember Circuit City? Hell yes. Now we have something that keeps up with the times that's similar, Best Buy, which is my go to for electronics. So, yeah, you make an excellent point. Well, hey, Miss Z, it's time to prop your feet up. You just got off of work. I love it. That's what I got. I think that's the challenge here, Nikki. I don't think it's a bad company. I just don't think it's your company. But I also, if they keep doing business like that, they're not going to survive. I've had some pretty good luck over the years in working for some. I've worked a lot in the nonprofit area with regard to finance, and that was one that I was just referring to. But in contrast, I also worked for a nonprofit, and actually, that was before that. That I had basically the same role, chief financial officer, and my boss, who was at the helm, the head of everything, right, was a PhD level psychologist and absolutely fearless and brilliant. He had a really good nose for, he had a good instinct, if you will, and he was fun to work for. He was absolutely fearless. We grew, just to give you an idea, Nikki, we were a nonprofit, and we tripled in size in the first 3 years that I was with him. Our revenues went from, it literally, in year 2 it doubled, and in year 3 it went up by 33%. It was insanity in the best of ways. Oh, I worked my ass off because that growth was insane. But I learned so much, and it was exhilarating to work in that environment. It was also tiring, but that was probably one of my most favorite jobs I've ever had. Yeah. Where's Bad Bath and Beyond? Exactly. Exactly. All right, so next up, and I hope that helped you, Nikki. I hope that gave you a little bit of insight into, and the cool thing about that, Nikki, was this. As a Gemini, and I know I'm not a Sag, but as a Gemini, I could somewhat put myself in your shoes, so I could see things and how it would affect you, because I could, and it would affect, even though we're on opposite, we're sister signs, we would have the same reaction to that type of a work setting, right? So I felt your vibe on that one for sure. I'm like, oh, she's gonna die. She's not gonna be able to breathe. You're welcome, love, and thank you as always. All right, let's go to Naomi. Naomi is a Capricorn, and we are pulling advice for Naomi. Naomi, why didn't I put you on the list? Oh my God. Hold on, let me go fix that. You're after Nikki. I have you on the written list, but not on the list on the screen. Oh, Jesse, I see yours too. I got you, love. All right, let's do this. And then I'm going to read for Naomi. Hey, girl. That's you, girly? Okay. I got you, love. There we go. All right, and let me put Jesse on my list. You're about to clock into work? Don't work too hard, love. All right, let me re-timestamp for you so you won't have to listen to me blabbering. All right, here we go. What does Naomi, the Capricorn, the snappy, happy Cappy, need to know? Did you, Jasmina? Okay, I'll see. All right. It'll come in a minute. What does Naomi need to know? The Capricorn. Give me the advice spread for Naomi, the Capricorn, please. You can check. You'll have a timestamp, love. All right. Here we go. What do I need to tell Naomi, the Cappy? What do I need to tell Naomi, the snappy, happy Cappy? What do I need to tell Naomi, the Capricorn? What do I need to tell Naomi, the Capricorn, please? What do I need to tell Naomi, the Capricorn? What do I need to tell Naomi, the Capricorn? What do I need to tell Naomi, the Capricorn? Naomi, the Capricorn. What do I need to tell Naomi, the Capricorn? Eight of Wands in reverse, the Moon in reverse, and the Eight of Swords in reverse. I feel like this. Naomi, the Capricorn. There is something, your intuition may be nagging at you about something that is not right for you. I feel like this is a social setting. It could be romance or friends. I don't think this is the workplace for you, Naomi. I think this could be love. It's possible friends, but there is someone that you have been vibing with in some way that is showing you who they are. They're showing you who they are. Okay? And they need to be blocked from your life and from your energy. You know, Naomi, you said you're a Capricorn. I don't know if you were watching today. I gave an example of how an Aquarius cuts people off in the Aquarius reading today. And this person just needs to go. And it could be a friend group or a friend or a romance partner or potential romance partner. I think that's what it is. I'll be honest. I feel like this is romance. This person may even be a cheater or have been with a third party. There could have been arguments and harsh words. Those are the vibes that I'm picking up on this dynamic for you, Naomi. Naomi, this person needs to go. This person needs to go. They're showing you who they are. Believe them. Absolutely believe them. And don't give them a chance to, keep showing you, because you're gonna set yourself up for being further injured. Okay. It's time to have some self-respect, some boundaries with someone, and maybe to speak your truth with the Queen of Swords here. But it's time to choose yourself. Absolutely. And love yourself. It's okay if you love somebody. Feelings are feelings, and they're valid and they're important. But what's equally important and essential in this type of situation is that you love yourself more. And when someone is treating you in a way that is hurtful, you have to choose you every single time. You cannot betray yourself. If you do, that's going to cause you harm. That's what I got, Naomi, and I hope that helps. All right. That's what I got, love. All right, here we go. Jasmina, you said you ordered. Did you get an email back on that? Boundaries important. Yes. I did a whole video, Nikki, about boundaries the other day. I don't remember where. I think it's on Patreon somewhere. I'm fixing to reorganize Patreon, by the way. But anyway, Jasmina, did you order on my website? And if so, did you get an email? I'm reloading. I may missed it. Let me just double check. Yeah, I haven't gotten it here yet, but I will tell you something, Jasmina. Sometimes it'll take a good 10 minutes after you get that. You did ordered and you paid via PayPal. Check your email, Jasmina, and make sure you got a confirmation email. And if you did, it'll come through. Sometimes it takes 10 minutes or so. But just double check that, love. And we should be good. We should be good. All right. All right, Georgiana is up next. And Georgiana, oh, yeah, okay, I got it, okay. Just an email from PayPal. You should get one from my website in a minute. Check your spam, and also, like if you have it separated out on promotion, check all of that. I'll double check. I'll look at my PayPal too. I'll make sure, but I'm going to read for Georgiana. Georgiana has asked for advice. Georgiana is an Aries. All right, Georgiana. What does Georgiana need to know? What does Georgiana need to know? What does Georgiana need to know? Give me advice for Georgiana. Give me advice for Georgiana. Give me advice for Georgiana. Give me advice for Georgiana, please. Advice for Georgiana. Give me advice for Georgiana. Advice for Georgiana, please. Give me advice for Georgiana. Give me some advice for Georgiana. Advice for Georgiana. Give me advice for Georgiana. Two of Swords in the reverse, okay? Hierophant in the reverse. Four of Cups in the reverse. Here's a decision that needs to be made here. We got decisions on the board tonight. I think this has to do with love. The advice is this. I have the Two of Swords in reverse, Hierophant in the reverse, and the Four of Cups in reverse. The advice is this, Georgiana. When you have to make a this could go either way. When someone makes a choice between you and another person, or when something doesn't work out, okay, with a romantic partner. When something doesn't work out with a romantic partner, it's okay to feel the feels and to feel the sadness and the heartbreak. In fact, you should. You don't want to live there, but what you need to know is this. You can't miss something that is right. We're talking missed opportunity, the one that got away, the what if this, the what if that, right? If something falls by the wayside, the best thing we can do is release, all right? And honor a person's decisions or your own fully, okay? When we hold on energetically, it's more painful than if we let go. Now, when we let go, initially, in the first minute or two, or hour, or whatever, that hurts like hell. But afterward, after you get past that initial pain of ripping the Band-Aid off and finally realizing this was not for me, then you'll start to feel a sense of freedom. And you'll feel a release, and you'll start to feel a peace within yourself of saying, this was right. This was hard. And this hurt. but this had to be. Um, and make peace with those things, okay? And even embark into some related shadow work, right? So I think there may be someone here that you're in your mind, you're like hung up on, of, you know, what might have been, what if this, what if that, right? And I feel as though your cards are coming out to tell you that you have a clear path with the Two of Swords in reverse. And as much as these types of things hurt, it also opens the door for what's really right for you and what's really going to nurture your soul in every way. Okay? That's what I got. That's what I got, Georgiana. That's what came out. And I hope that helped you, love. I hope that helped you. All right. We're going to Rachel. Let me, Rachel, before I read for Rachel, I'm going to go Jasmina and look at my PayPal and just see if anything came through on that side yet. And again, it could come through on my website. Yes, yes, absolutely. So let me go back over to PayPal here. And I'll double check to see if it came through PayPal. It did not. So what I will say is this, and this is gonna, so here's the thing. What happens sometimes, Jasmina, is that for whatever reason, if people don't click all the buttons, it doesn't go through. And then what happens is it'll come back and refund your PayPal like several days later, which is a pain in the ass. So yeah, see if, double check on my website and see if you can find that. But at any rate, let's go to Rachel. Yes, occasionally my website will be glitchy. And I'll tell you, Jasmina, I actually have researched that. That is a thing with PayPal, but unfortunately, I'm kind of a little bit limited into different ways that I can accept payment for mini reads. So that kind of makes it suck. But, and I could go into a lot of detail, but because I've researched payment methods very, very heavily, and a lot of payment processors will not allow for fortune telling, and I've had them actually kick me out, like Stripe and such. So yeah, PayPal has been solid with me for 5.5 years now. So yeah, and I've learned to manage with PayPal. I've learned to work with PayPal, and PayPal actually has some policies that have been very, 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 they will take care of me if I do my part. They absolutely will. So I really can't complain about PayPal. Jesse says, it's good advice. Never been happier and more at peace after I let go of the outcomes. Absolutely. Hey, Anastasia. She says, yeah, that happened to me. It kept looping back to checkout about 4 different times, and my bank app says it's just pending then when I wanted 2 questions through. Yeah, I know. Now, I think on my website, it does offer you the option to use, for those of you that are local, it does offer Cash App, or not local, but in the States. But I don't think Cash App is available to a lot of folks that are international. You had the looping experience. That's so frustrating. And believe it or not, that is a common thing for some reason between these website hosting companies and PayPal. And actually, believe it or not, after going down that rabbit hole, Wix has less problems with it, which I use Wix, than many of the other website hosting companies. You're in Australia. In the land down under. All right. Yeah. There you go. Um, no Cash App in Canada. Yeah, see, I don't know that Cash App is anywhere outside of the US. I don't think it is. So, all right, Miss Rachel, let's see what's up with you. Rachel is a Gemini, and Rachel is seeking advice. So, let's get Rachel some advice. What does Rachel, my Gemini friend, need to know? What advice does Rachel need today? 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 What advice does Rachel need? 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 Rachel the Gemini. The World. The Page of Cups. The Fool card. Baby. Rachel, you're in a really cool place. And I think we're talking romance here. I'm going to be real with you. Based on what I'm seeing, I do believe this is romance, but it is. It absolutely is. What I feel like is this, Rachel. I feel like you are on the brink of a major breakthrough regarding your ascension, your healing. You're literally feeling enlightened and intuitive, and at the end of a tough journey around healing, almost to the point of this celebratory energy. The rite of passage with the World card is very much, in my opinion, in this one, a spiritual one. Okay, and because of that, you have worked through a lot of, yucky energy. Let's just put it that way, right? And you're going to be feeling a lot lighter. Major breakthrough with the World card. That is such a mountaintop. It's like getting to the top of Mount Everest and standing there like this. Okay, that's the World card. But we're talking spiritual journey. We're talking your healing process. What do I see around the corner? New love and taking a leap of faith. So the encouragement, the advice is, this is the wrong time to give up on your healing journey now, baby girl. This is the right time to stay on course and keep your eye on the prize, because the prize is so close. And I'm predicting something amazing on the other side of this thing. I really am. And I think there has been this long, hard road, and I think you're so close to the finish line. And I don't mean the finish line of your life. I mean the finish line of this phase, right? And I'm here for it. I am on the sidelines, and I'm cheering you on. And I know from Mount Everest, you can't see all of us down here, but you got a lot of people that are all about cheering you on. Jasmine, your thing came through. Jasmine, your last name starts with an A. That's you. You just came through. Anyway, I love this for you, Rachel. And so did yours, Anastasia. I love this for you, Rachel, and I could not be more excited for you. This is a soul bond. This is a breath of fresh air. There's a sweetness here with the Six of Cups. Very possible past life vibes, but not in the you killed me over a bag of potato chips kind of way. Something different, something unique, and something special. Do you know what I mean by that? Okay. You're gonna remember this conversation, Rachel, and it's not long from now, and you're gonna come back to me and say, Auntie Karen, you were right. And I'm here for it. Those are the moments I live for. They happen a lot here, and I love hearing them. So yay you. Go you. Stay on task, my friend. You're there. You're so close. What a reading. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Going through the website directly is the surest way not to pin. Mine just went through. Oh, the Patreon link had me looping. Wow, really? Okay, I did not realize that, Anna. So you went, okay, I know what you're talking about. It's that Patreon post. Well, that sucks. Yikes. It's been a bumpy road. Well, you know, it's interesting. It's interesting you would describe it that way, and I'll tell you why. You know, when we're talking about the journey, because that's what we're talking about, right? When we're talking about that journey, you're giving me those Chariot vibes, and that's actually, and I know you're not a Cancer, but when we think about the meaning of the Chariot, okay, the Chariot is a warrior and a winner. We know that. You've heard me say that, I know, right? But the Chariot also, you know, the Chariot is like a decorated war hero. The Chariot gets to their journey because they have the ability to overcome the potholes and the flat tires and the stalled engine, right? And oh, well, there you go. You're Cancer rising. The potholes, the roadblocks, the detours, the bad weather, you know, all the things that a journey, you know, can be obstacles. And so when the Chariot gets there, the Chariot is probably not, you know, not in the most pristine shape, as far as, you know, it's probably dusty looking, and it may have a dent or two, and, you know, that sort of thing. But the Chariot overcomes. The Chariot wins. The Chariot is the warrior and the winner that has overcome the bumpy road. It's interesting you would have used that analogy. You know, the word that comes to mind is bloodied but unbowed. And if you're not familiar with that, you probably can look that up on Google. And I know you can, because you've got Gemini. But yeah, absolute refusal to give up. And go you. And I'm proud of you. So, very interesting. So, I am super excited for you. All right. We've got, I believe, Andrea? Yes, Andrea. You did, Jasmina? She says, I changed to my laptop. You know, that's so funny. There's things I can do better on my most everything I can do better on my laptop than my phone. But for some reason, I can navigate my side of Patreon, the back part where I do all the stuff. I can navigate. There's certain things that most of it I can navigate better on my laptop. But there's a couple of things that I can navigate better on my phone than on my laptop. It's the weirdest thing. You know, if you have an iPhone and you are doing Patreon related expenditures, do you know iPhone has an upcharge that laptops and the other kind of phone, why can't I think of the word, Androids do not have, and I don't make any more money. So for those of you that are, do my Patreon and you're on an iPhone, you can even go on a MacBook or any laptop and change your stuff, do your Patreon expenditures there, and you'll pay less. You'll see what I'm talking about. So I always try to let people know about that stuff, and I forget, but I can't tell you that on Patreon because, they might flag me or something. But it's actually Apple doing that upcharge and not Patreon. And fun fact, the money that I get from people that buy on iPhones, they pay more, and I get the money 3 months later. Everything else I get like a week later at the most. Fun fact. So yeah. All right. Yeah, Sneaky Boogers is right. All right, let's go to Andrea. Let's go to Andrea. All right, Andrea is, she is asking about Jason the Libra. And Andrea, if you are here and can give me your zodiac sign. Oh, she did. I'm a Cancer. Sorry, I missed that. I saw that. Okay, Andrea is a Cancer. How does Jason the Libra feel about me ending things with him? And secondly, will Jason the Libra reach out, or will he just let it be? All right, let's see what we've got. How does Jason the Libra feel about this ending between he and Andrea the Cancer? How does Jason feel about the ending? Jason the Libra, how does Jason feel about this ending between him and Andrea the Cancer? By the way, happy Cancer season and happy birthday. How does Jason the Libra feel about this ending? What's going on here? Okay. How does Jason the Libra feel about this ending between he and Andrea the Cancer? Give me Jason the Libra, his energy about the ending. His energy about this ending between he and Andrea the Cancer. Jason the Libra, give me his point of view. Give me how he feels about this. How does he feel about this? 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 The World card. The Page of what? The Page of Cups and the Ace of Cups. This may or may not shock you, but he's in the energy of moving forward. He's already in the energy of putting himself back out there. That's pretty interesting that he's ready to move on so fast. I'm going to have to drill down on this, Andrea, because I'm nosy like that. Who does that? World card, Page of Cups, Ace of Cups. Let's see. Jason, why are you moving so fast? Why are you moving so fast to try to put yourself out there? Are you rebounding? Did you never love her? What? Well, let's see. Why are you moving so fast, Jason? Why are you moving so fast? Why are you so quick to move on and get you a new boo thing? King of Swords, the Star, the Queen of Swords. He's detached as hell from this. Emotionally detached. I don't know if that's going to click with you, Andrea, but yeah, Queen of Pentacles here in the baby. I don't know that he's been acting very nonchalant. Yeah, he's detached as hell. He don't give a fuck. I'm not sure he ever did. I'm not sure he ever did. Did he? No, I'm gonna be real with you. I think his problem with the Five of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands in reverse coming out here, I think his entire problem is that he is a person that is not going to be alone. Okay, I don't like to be alone. He has fears of being alone, and he feels like he needs a person in his life, whether he loves them or not. And I'm not saying he's incapable of love. I wouldn't go that far because I don't see enough to say that. I'm not going to say that. But what I do think he will absolutely do in order to keep from being alone, because he detests being alone. It makes him feel more vulnerable. Believe it or not, this is crazy. He feels more vulnerable being alone, as though he's less than. He feels like it makes him look bad if he's alone. I don't know if this makes any sense, okay? But it gives him this false sense of, I'm okay now because I got a boo thing, right? And I feel as though, I don't even think it's codependent. I don't. I think it's just I don't like being alone. I'll be honest, what it is fear of being alone. Because let me tell you, when you're alone, guess what you got to do? You got to spend time with yourself. And when you spend time with yourself, you have to, eventually, you're going to start having things come up where you have to face your own bullshit. And we all have bullshit, okay? I'm not saying he is not the only person on the planet with bullshit. I got it, you got it, everybody got it, okay? But when you spend time alone, you deal with your bullshit. This is a person that avoids dealing with their bullshit by staying booed up, all right? Hey, Francis, how are you? And that's what's going on. And he is very detached emotionally. And I think he's just moving on because he doesn't want to be alone. So I will look and see if he reaches out. But right now, he's in the mindset of just moving on and finding him a new human with a pulse. I hate to put it to you. But that's where he is in the way he thinks. Whether he realizes it or not. That's what I'm seeing in the cards. Let's take a look. Sometimes Libra energy can struggle with codependency, but sometimes they can struggle with what I just described too. Let's take a look at whether or not we see him reaching out. Do we see him reaching out? Do we see him reaching out toward Andre the Cancer? Do we see him reaching out? Do we see him reaching out? That was interesting. I think I know what those cards were trying to tell me. Let's take a look. Oh, really, Francis? Wow, that's interesting. I have not posted. I haven't been posting on TikTok. I've just kind of been busy. But do we see this guy reaching out? Do we see this Libra reaching out? Do we see Jason, the Libra, reaching out toward Andre the Cancer? Do we see Jason reaching out? See him reaching out. Six of Pentacles, Five of Swords, Ten of Swords in reverse. Well, this is interesting. This is interesting, Jesse. Absolutely. I agree with that, Jesse. If Libra cannot balance themselves out, and that is a challenge for Libra, if they cannot balance themselves out, they seek another to do it for them. Absolutely. Hey, Birdman. Okay, so let me tell you what I see here. This is odd, Andrea. This is he's an odd bird. The answer to will he reach out is not a straight answer, and it should be yes and no. Directly, is he going to do something like DM you or call you or text you? No. No. But he is going to move toward you. And it's real interesting because the Six of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, that's breadcrumbing and games all day long. And the Ten of Swords is in the reverse. So know this up front. I do think he will move toward you in some kind of a way. He may try to get your attention. He may send you something. What he may even do is, talk to people that you guys both know each other, hoping that rumors get back to you, stuff like that. He may post things on Facebook or whatever. But even if he comes to you direct, I'm going to give you his vibe right now. It's breadcrumbing and games and bullshit. Okay, with the Six of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, and he is going to be back energetically for sure. Okay. Whether or not it's a very direct move or not, I don't get that vibe. I think it's more subtle. I'll be honest. I think he's too chicken shit to just reach out and say, hey, I miss you or anything like that. But I absolutely see him moving toward you. But just know this. Remember what I told you, Andrea, about when this reach back out comes. Okay? Remember. That in and of itself should be a red flag, right? I feel much better now that I ended things. Yeah, that's the thing, Andrea. It's hard. It's hard to when we first let go of something, but at the same time, there's a sense of relief in saying, I don't feel that lack of peace anymore, right? Absolutely. But that's what I got, love, and I hope that helped you. I hope that helped you, Andrea. You are welcome, and thank you for booking, Andrea. I appreciate you. Absolutely. All right. Speaking of Laura Ann, she's up. Hey, before I read for you, Laura Ann, can I go adjust my air because I'm about to roast. I'm about to roast, and I don't want to melt in front of y'all. So give me a minute. I'm going to go adjust my air, and I'll be right back. I get so hot in here when I read. I'll be back. All right. Yay! Yay! Anastasia, I think Anastasia's probably onto something. She says, you just don't align, Andrea. His ego is too much. I think you probably are onto something with that one, Anastasia. I believe that. Birdman, how you been? All right. Laura is my Gemini friend. And we want to know about the love energies for July. Tell me about Laura the Gemini and July romance. Laura the Gemini for July romance. Laura the Gemini. Laura the Gemini for July romance. Hey, Emma Stanley. Laura the Gemini, July romance, please. Ooh, girl, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, Laura, this is such a Gemini thing. Me too, Laura. I always hate it when a Gemini season ends. Ooh, Gemini. Laura is gonna be Geminiing in July though. You're gonna be Geminiing in a fun way. Laura's like, don't keep me waiting. You gotta wait for the whole story. What else does Laura need to know about love in July? Oh, well, that took a turn. Okay. So, Laura, here's what's interesting. Here's your vibe. Let me give you your vibe going into July. Maybe even now, because this is June 20th. All right. Your vibe, Queen of Swords, Hierophant reverse. Can I channel what this means to be a Gemini vibing like this? This is a Gemini calling people out on their bullshit. Not really giving a fuck if they like it or if they don't. So Laura, I want you to repeat after me, my beautiful Gemini friend. Here we go, Laura. You ready? I don't fuck with you, you little pussy ass bitch. Okay? That's your vibe, baby. It's gonna take a lot, Laura. You're leveling up. Your standards going up. Your tolerance for bullshit going down. Here's what's the crazy part. This was the plot twist I didn't see. But I think you're in this energy of, I'm not putting up with any bullshit. Why should I? Why? I don't have to put up with that. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. That's going to be your new mantra, okay? And what's crazy? You're going to remove some blockages. Like the Two of Swords in reverse. Talking to people that you know are not going to get you anywhere has been holding you back, whether you get that or not. This is going to open up some doors. This crazy ass table, turning the tables over energy here. And that's what this is, okay? Flipping the tables. This don't work. We're not doing it. You don't work. You got to go. You're full of shit. You got to go. You know, it's going to open up the doors for the good ones to come through the doors, right? And what's interesting about this is I'm predicting someone coming in. And after that Two of Swords in the reverse, there's a Four of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. So all of a sudden, you open up the door for somebody there's reciprocity. You know, you meet each other toe to toe and eye to eye, and you're not this and I don't mean this. You're not this ginormous divine feminine energy looking down on a little fuck boy. Because Laura, you and I talk, and we joke about this stuff, right? But at the end of the day, if you and I had a dime for every time we felt that way, that we were this ginormous divine feminine looking down on this little fuck boy, we'd be rich. I'd never have to work a day again, and neither would you, right? But I think what's going to happen is you're just going to lose anytime somebody gives you the first inkling of being a fuckboy, I think you're just going to be like, bye. Bye. You're an idiot, bye. You're an idiot, bye. You're an idiot, bye. And I think what's going to happen is that is energetically going to open up the door for something real. Isn't that a plot twist? So your standards go up, your tolerance for bullshit goes up, but your opportunities also open up because of that. Wicked crazy in a good way, right? That's what I got. That's what I got. There you go. Laura, did you unlock the door? She did. She did. Oh, look, if I could describe Laura in July, this is Laura Unleashed. This is Laura when Uranus is in Gemini, unfucking leashed and unapologetic. Unapologetically, authentically Laura in the most beautiful way. That's what I got. That's what I got for you. So you got a combination of some advice. Embody that energy and embrace it. Honey, if you feel it, rock with it. Rock with it. Go with it. Embody it. You are welcome. You are welcome. I hope that helps you. You're absolutely welcome. Hey, Cap K7, what's up? How you doing? All right. Next up is Vanessa. Vanessa. Vanessa, 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 Vanessa. All right, let's see what's up. Let me get a sip of tea. So, back to you, Laura. Can I say one thing? Can I say one more thing to you? Just because it's the end of Gemini season. Oh, you're going to like this. This is pretty good. You mentioned I'm always sad when Gemini season is over, and I get it. Me too. Because it's like, oh, it's such a fun time for me. I love Leo season, though. That's almost like, Leo season is almost like Gemini season part 2. Would you agree with that? Because it's like we can kind of be unleashed again. Because Leos seem to have a higher tolerance of our craziness. Nonetheless, and thank you to the Leos. But just because Gemini season is over doesn't mean Laura's season is over. So you continue to embody that energy. I hope that helps. All right. Birdie, it's funny you would say that. I thought that. We're on the same vibe, Birdie. Birdie said Laura 2.0. I sat here and thought it. I think you and I are telepathic or something. But yeah, I swear. All right, let's go to Miss Vanessa. Vanessa is a Cancer, of course. Happy Cancer season, my love. And Bob is a Virgo, and we want to know his current feelings. His current feelings. Give me Bob the Virgo. Bob the Virgo toward Vanessa the Cancer. Hey, Wanda. How you doing? Give me Bob the Virgo. Why do I get Bob the Builder? I don't know. Sorry. I think that's just a random Gemini. I don't think that's intuitive. I think that's a random Gemini brain, the brains can jump to hoop or loop or something. Okay. Give me Bob the Virgo toward Vanessa the Cancer. Give me Bob the Virgo toward Vanessa the Cancer. 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 Three of Pentacles in the reverse, Knight of Cups, King of Swords. Oh, I'm going to have to drill down on this a little bit. The short answer, Vanessa, I see this person coming towards you. I'm not nuts about it. Kara, I got you, love. Your order just came through. Why is this Three of Pentacles in the reverse? That's not the most cooperative energy here, okay? And it can be that this person is torn between you and another person, or third-party energy sometimes, but we will find out. Page of Wands in the reverse. Ace of Pentacles. Temperance in there. He's got some unfinished business with someone. Or, okay. So, Vanessa, I've got a question for you. Is this an ex or is this somebody new? That's going to help me because there's a lot going on here. There's definitely a torn energy here. I got you, Cap K. There's definitely a torn energy here. Okay, if you're the new person, he's torn between you and a past person. If you're the past person, he's torn between you and moving towards someone new. All right. Ultimately, I get him coming toward you in a romantic way, but there's a bit of shallowness to it, and I think it's fleeting. And I get him maybe even detaching. Hey, Suzanne. So the information to book a reading, Suzanne, is going to be below this video, all right? But I don't think I think whatever the case may be for you, Vanessa, the one thing I can tell you is that he is 1 foot in and 1 foot out, at best. And I don't think he's going to stick around, at least emotionally. I think his emotions may be even a little bit fleeting. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles in reverse. That's my time waster card, the Devil card in the upright. He's got some unfinished business here. Yeah, Two of Pentacles. He's torn. He is absolutely in a juggling energy, energetically. Does that mean he's cheating or in a third-party thing? Energetically, yes. Physically, maybe. That's what I got, Vanessa, and I don't know if that helps you or not, but that's what's absolutely here. That's what's here. But I don't get him, I don't really get him leaving, per se, but energetically I get him remaining torn and being emotionally distant, emotionally detached, and quite honestly not the most emotionally mature energy. I think he's quite the romancer. I do get that from this Virgo, which is interesting, but that's what I have. He's giving, and I'm very cautious about doing this because people will interpret what I'm about to do as zodiac sign bashing, and that is not this. There are low vibrational versions of every zodiac sign, but he's giving low vibrational Libra. And I realize he's a Virgo. What I wonder if he's got some Libra in his chart or a 7th house stellium or something, and he's vibing, or, you know, a South Node Libra perhaps. And he may very well be, vibing in a low vibrational Libra type energy. That's what I got. And it could be the way his natal Venus is aspected. I mean, it may show up in that way. It's our job to overcome these challenges in our birth chart. We all have them. But I don't think he's understood that assignment at this point, at this juncture. That's what I got, Vanessa. That's what I got. All right. I need to add Kara to the list. Oh, Suzanne. Let me go ahead and add you. Yours just came through. Here we go. All right, Jessie Boo. Give me 1 second, Jessie Boo. I'm going to check one thing. I'm going to go ahead. Let me put you down here too. I don't mind, Jessie. We can read for you, love. Unless you just want me to put you to the end. I can do whatever you want. Do you know I cut my air way the hell down and it cut off again? The ever-loving nerve. I want this air to cut back on. I'll go ahead and read for you, Jessie the Taurus. Jessie, my little Taurus friend. There it comes. Yay, it cut back on. All right, let's see what's up, Jessie. Let's see what's up. Jessie, what can I expect in matters of love? Says Jessie the Taurus. What can I expect in love for Jessie the Taurus? What can I expect in matters of love for Jessie the Taurus? What does Jessie the Taurus have to expect in matters of love? Okay. What can we expect for Jessie the Taurus? I wish that I had Jessie's girl. Sorry, had to. Jessie, in terms of love. Oh, hell yeah. Vanessa. I'm sorry, love. You'll be able to. Jessie, you're about to... Okay, let me just get more on this. But this is good. But... Alright, what about Jessie the Taurus in matters of romance? Jessie the Taurus... I know about that card. These are good. All of these are good cards, but I want to drill down on that. Two of Swords in reverse. There's an opportunity. There's opportunities opening up. I want to see if that Two of Swords has to do with a decision. You've got some good cards, very good cards here. But I want to see if there's more to be told about that Two of Swords in reverse before I drill down on this. That's about opportunities opening up for sure. And that's the worst of the three cards, if that gives you a clue. And that's a good card. And that was my jumper, by the way. The Two of Swords in the reverse. Tell me more. Yeah, most definitely. Okay, listen. Whoa, Jesse, what a reading. You're a problem, Jesse. Jesse, you're going to need a personal assistant. It's not just opportunities opening up. It's not just opportunities. You're going to be like, my God, who opened the barn door? Women going to be flocking to you. All right? Jesse, I got options coming towards you like crazy. Also, when I clarified that Two of Swords in the reverse, here's the reason I think opportunities are opening up. The backstory has to do with the Five of Cups in reverse. You're healing from something, or have. You're coming up on the end of a healing cycle, okay, where you're starting to feel like putting yourself out there. And lo and behold, ask and you shall receive. Options, Seven of Cups. It's not a decision between two people. I mean, it's just people. Okay, it's just people. All right, we're just not even going to put a number on it. All right. What's interesting is the next card after that is this. And I like the way this flows, because here we have this Two of Swords, the opportunities opening up. That sometimes can be a blindfold coming off, clarity, being able to make good decisions, a lot of clarity, where you see things differently in a good way. And here's what that leads to on the clarity on that. The Fool card, which is a beautiful card, especially when you see what else is here. The Fool card is taking not just a leap of faith. It's an intuitive leap of faith. Why? Because the Two of Swords came out in the reverse. You have clarity now. Oh, God, I'm getting this sappy. I can see clearly now the rain is gone kind of thing, especially with the Five of Cups in reverse, okay? And what's crazy is the other two cards, I mean, just, the Two of Cups card in the upright and the Sun card in the upright. I mean, Jesse, if they don't want Jesse's girl, they're going to want to be Jesse's girl. Okay, I should have rephrased that whole line. Because I imagine who this is going to be pretty spectacular, because she's got some competition. Okay, she does. Very clear on what I'm looking for. There you go. That's that Two of Swords in reverse. And that Fool card, you'll know it when you see it, and you'll absolutely take the leap of faith with the one that aligns, that you see at a soul level, and that sees you, right? This is pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. Here's a measure for you. Where is Laura? If Laura's still here and listening, I want you to take this advice too, Laura. Look, I've got a new standard that I want to share with you guys. You, Jesse, and you, Laura, and anybody else that's looking for love out there. Here's a measure for you. I hint on this whenever I said see your soul, but do they want to see your soul? And you are we all are such a multifaceted, layered person, existence, person, people, individual, right? Because we are constantly changing. Learning you is an ongoing process, much like the journey inward of self-discovery, because we evolve, and learning ourselves is a never-ending thing. And so therefore, when you're in a connection, there should be that curiosity and that desire to know you. And they ask you about you, and they want to know more about you, from the simplest things to the most complex. Do you prefer pancakes or waffles? Do you prefer, what kind of music do you like? What do you think about quantum physics? I mean, it can go all over the spectrum. And let that be a measure for you. If you run across a person that you feel curious about, and you find that they're curious about you and discovering all that you are on the inside, let that get your attention. Let that perk your interest. Hope that helps. I like it for you, Jesse. I like your upcoming energy. It looks pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. I love that for you. It's pretty fantastic. My peeps are rocking and rolling. Thank you, girlie. Thank you, thank you. What? No. Jesse says, and every time somebody brings up Uncle L, I just kind of get, that's just a sweet memory, right? He's a sweet memory, but and an exceptional reader and a kind heart. Uncle L's reading for me said I would be healing in the spring. Well, there you are. There you are. Because we're in the summer now. There you are. There you are. That's so crazy. All right. So there's your confirmation. Uncle and I are apparently in sync. Yes, bless that man. Yes. Jesse, I don't know if I know you know how much he loved music, and of course created some fantastic tunes. I miss his tunes so much, but he created some fantastic arrangements, and he had that vibe of the R&B, the 70s and 80s, which I loved because that, and he loved some of the artists. He loved many artists, and we had a mutual love for a lot of artists, and he loved Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I am an Earth, Wind, and Fire freak. I love Earth, Wind, and Fire. And a few days after he passed, I posted, I was thinking of him, and I was listening to the Earth, Wind, and Fire song, That's the Way of the World. And I posted it on my community page, and I said, I'm missing you just a little bit too much tonight, Uncle L. And I said, you have no idea the impact. And then I put the lyrics because they seemed so applicable to just everything that I knew. So, anyway. Rest in peace, Uncle. We'll always love and miss you. You won't be forgotten. And your legacy lives on. All right. Jenna, I got you. You're after Suzanne. Yeah, he was quite... I think he left an impression on people that was very unique and very beautiful. And he was also at the same time hysterically funny at times. His facial expressions were just hilarious. Always just so, he could say so much without ever saying a word, right? All right, so let's go to Jasmine. All right, so Jasmine is, let me timestamp for Jasmine. Yes, the best part of being an artist or a creator is living forever through our content. Oh my God, yes. So much that. All right, so Jasmine says, Jasmine is looking for advice. Jasmine is a Scorpio. She has a 10th house stellium, so very Capricorn in her vibe, Saggy moon, and Aquarius rising. Awesome sauce. So let's take a look at Jasmine. I'm envisioning your chart. That's all. Let's take a look at Jasmine and see what advice Jasmine, the lovely Scorpio, needs to know. What does Jasmine need to know? What does Jasmine need to know? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jasmine, that Aquarius rising, I think Aquarius and or Aries risings are the most rare rising signs. I may be wrong on that, but I think if my memory serves me right, Jasmine, I do believe that is the case. All right, what does Jasmine need to know advice-wise? What does Jasmine need to know advice-wise? What does Jasmine need to know advice-wise? Don't be scared. Does Jasmine need to know advice-wise? I'm going to take that. That's important. And I think that is. And I even think that is. Does Jasmine need to know advice-wise? Because this all goes together. This all flows with what I got when I first saw that jumper. Those cards go right with what I got intuitively. What does Jasmine need to know from the advice? Jasmine the Scorpio. Give me advice for 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 Jasmine the Scorpio. Jasmine, this is all about you, baby. This is all about you. And the overall vibe, putting yourself first, taking care of you. At the end of the day, I get that you might be a little bit stressed out and exhausted. Maybe losing sleep or dealing with some anxiety, insomnia, stress, Four of Swords here in reverse. You may be, even with that card coming out, burning the candle at both ends sometimes. Feeling like you got to be all things to all people. And we get back to that old saying that can sometimes sound cliche, but is so needed sometimes. You can't pour from an empty cup. You cannot possibly give anything to anyone energetically around you, whether it's kids, work, and we have a lot of things tugging at us, right? Kids, work, laundry, romance, friends, and they need this, and oh, you need this, and sometimes Jasmine gets lost in the shuffle, right? And you forget to take care of her. And she's got to be number one on your list. And I repeat, she's got to be number one on your list. And you're going to be, well, no, my kids are first if you have kids. And if you don't have kids, you may in the future. So I'm just going to go ahead and say this, and I want you to remember this. I'm a mom. And I love being a mom. That's one of my most favorite roles in my life, okay? It wasn't until I learned to put myself first that I became the best mom I could be. And I want you to think about the analogy. If you've ever flown on an airplane and you listen to the blah, blah, blah flight instruction, the safety instructions, and they tell you if you're flying with an infant or a small child and the cabin pressure drops and the things, that the oxygen doohickeys, they tell you to put it on your face first. There's a reason for that. You cannot attend to your child if you are not getting air. Your child needs you to take care of yourself so that you can be at your best self. That is true for everyone in your life. And you must learn to prioritize what's important. Also, realize what's not your battle to fight, problem to solve, those things, okay? And you've got to look out for you. You've got to look out for you. This is going to create a glow up energy for you. Getting enough rest, working on yourself. And don't be afraid to ruffle some feathers. That's come out here too. Don't be afraid to ruffle some feathers. And you will, especially if people are used to you doing everything for them. That's going to ruffle some feathers, and you're going to get some resistance. You're absolutely going to get some resistance. You will get resistance, and it's going to be hard because you're so used to saying, "Oh, well, here, let me help you." No, let that person tie their own shoes. Let them make their own dinner. Let them do whatever the appropriate thing is, right? Not every problem is yours to solve. Not every battle is yours to fight. In fact, by helping other people to that degree, sometimes we are robbing them of the ability to grow themselves. So taking a step back and allowing people to do for themselves rather than rescuing them and doing things for them is actually good for their growth, right? And especially when this comes to kids, okay? Kids are not going to learn until we let them learn that they can do things for themselves, and when they try and they fail, that's okay. It's not the end of the world, because guess what they learn? That they can pick themselves up and try again. And you're there to offer guidance and advice, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, that's part of it. The role of a parent is to get your child to the place where they don't need you, which is crazy. Now, let's talk about this. The Page of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, the Empress. You've got to focus on your own growth. You know, Empress is divine feminine at her finest, right? And you've got to nurture yourself. You've got to take care of yourself. And you've got to, at the end of the day, focus. You've got to take a lot of your focus and focus on things that bring Jasmine joy. Whether that is painting, walking in nature, doing volunteer work, something that makes your heart sing. And I would imagine that it is possible that either you or someone else listening is going, I don't even know what it is that makes me happy. I'm so busy doing for everybody else. And that's precisely why you need to take a step back and figure that out. That's exactly why. Because we can literally lose our whole identity in serving others. Serving others can be beautiful when it's done from a healthy perspective, okay? But you got to take care of yourself. You got to get enough sleep. You got to eat right. You got to meditate. You got to ground. You got to center. And you got to love on you. And you got to do some things that bring Jasmine joy regularly. That's going to make you be able to be your best Jasmine whenever you're there for others. There you go. I hope that helps you, love. You got an interesting reading. But there we have it. Yeah, true, Jesse. True, true, true. All right. Anastasia's up next. I'm going to get a sip of tea real quick. I love that. She says, I've started doing this and already I see a difference in how I am showing up. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. I love that for you. I love that. And I'm going to be real with you. You know, I think everybody here is going to agree with me when I say this. When you start making those changes like we're talking about in the way that you approach, you know, you look at something, when you're presented with an opportunity, if you will, to participate, to serve, to contribute, and you kind of look at it for a minute and you evaluate, does it make sense for me to involve myself in this? What is this going to accomplish? Is it going to help anybody? Is there something productive to be gained? That's going to be one of your screeners right there. And then secondly, is this more than I can do? Or is this really something that that person should be doing, right? And it's hard. Those types of changes are hard, but definitely worth it. Terry got me through some of my hardest times. Me too, Jesse. Me too. Me too. Why do you think I'm here, Jesse? I loved it so much I decided to make it my job. I get it. All right. Same. Me too, Jesse. But I also say we find it when we're supposed to. Anastasia. Anastasia. All right. Anastasia, we want to know about Emma, the Pisces. How does she feel? Ooh, okay. Let's take a look. Tell me about Emma the Pisces toward Anastasia. Emma the Pisces toward Anastasia. Emma the Pisces toward Anastasia. Emma the Pisces. I want specifics. Give me specifics. Let's nail this down. Emma the Pisces. Specific feelings toward Anastasia. Reversed. Give me specifics. Emma the Pisces, specifically toward Anastasia. Ten of Pentacles, Empress, King of Pentacles. Why did the Hermit in reverse come out? Queen of Cups. Anastasia, this is nuts. She has deep love for you. I know you guys are in the friend place right now. I cannot figure this girl out to save my soul. Two of Pentacles. Okay, why? Why? Why being on the fence? Why? What's the issue here? What's the issue? What is she struggling to make a decision about? What's her problem here with this Two of Pentacles? What's she struggling with this Two of Pentacles here? Hey, Jasmine, don't leave. Remind me, I got to tell you something. What's she struggling with this Two of Pentacles here? What's the issue? Nine of Pentacles, the Fool card. She's torn. She is so torn. I don't, and look, okay, Anastasia, let me just say something. In looking at this spread and not knowing your history, one would be inclined to say she's, even with what you've told me, okay, one would be inclined to interpret this as her being torn between you and this other person. I don't think that's the problem. I don't think that's what she's struggling with. There's a leap of faith here with this Fool card and a new direction with the Ace of Cups for her. She's torn between something that feels comfortable to her and something that feels like she's stepping off into the unknown. I don't think it's a literal torn between you and someone else. I don't think that's it. I don't know if this is making sense to you, Anastasia. I almost want to ask you, is this her first time to be involved in a same-sex situation? Because I'm almost thinking that's her issue. You tell me what you think. There's something here. There's an unknown that she's afraid of. There's an unknown, or it's something new that's unfamiliar with that Fool card. That's stepping off of a cliff, basically, in her mind, and she doesn't know what's there to catch her, if anything. She doesn't know if she's going to go splat or if she's going to have success. That's how she's feeling about this. And I did tell her how I feel, and I think it scares her because it's real now, not just flirting. She's got love for you. She loves you. She's in love with you. The Queen of Cups here. I've seen that a lot in these readings. And the Empress card, I mean, that's growth and expansion. That's divine counterpart. I mean, come on. And Ten of Pentacles, I mean, that's, energetically all in, seeing this long-term happily ever after. Seeing you as she sees you as being stable and grounded and reliable and consistent and all the things that go along with that King of Pentacles energy, right? Yes, it is. She's been interested in women and went on dates, but this will be her. That may be her struggle. That may be her struggle. I think that's what this is. I think that's her entire issue with this thing. I think she's crazy in love with you. I'm going to be real. I think that's what's up. And maybe that's been the issue the entire time. She's in love with you. I'm going to see how she feels about that other person. But I may delve into this a little bit more deeply first. What's she likely to do toward Anastasia? What's she likely to do? 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 What's she likely to do about this toward Anastasia? What's she likely to do? What's she likely to do? What's she likely to do? You know what I get? Literally suffer in silence. To answer my own question, what's she likely to do? Temperance in the reverse, Three of Swords in the upright, Eight of Wands in reverse. It's like I'm going to block my own happiness. And in doing so, I'm going to break my own heart. Damn. That's where the energies are right now. Let's see how she feels about this person that she mentioned to you. Tell me about how she feels about this person. Justice in the reverse. I'm going to cry. She's killing me, and she's doing this to herself. How does she feel about this person that she's talking to? How does she feel about this person that she is talking to? How does she feel about this person? So I'm going to tell you what I got. The first card out, the Justice in the reverse. Well, and I heard her say, life just isn't fair. This just isn't fair. Life just isn't fair. That's what I heard. That was my jumper. Beyond that, let's go forward. Judgment in the reverse. Ten of Wands in the reverse and the Moon in reverse. So let's break those down. The Judgment card in the reverse, obstacles too great to overcome. That's her feeling about the new person. She can't see her way there with this person. Ten of Wands in reverse. You can take that so many ways, but it's kind of like this resolve of, you know, what am I supposed to do? And just throwing her hands up. And in the Moon card in the reverse is just, this is what I know. This is what's familiar. Give me more on the Moon in reverse. I think she's going to get with that person. And I don't think it's not going to last. Here's what I see with that person. She's going to get with that person and then walk away, or either they will with the Eight of Cups, one or the other. Because, you know, a lot of times the Moon in reverse is kind of this wah, wah, wah. You know, and when I clarified it, that's what I got. Strength in reverse. There's another wah, wah, wah. Knight of Swords in reverse. Page of Wands in reverse. She's just not being honest. And I really feel like the person that she lies to the most is the person that she looks at in the mirror. That's what's up. She's going to try to convince herself that this is the thing. And I believe that there's a good likelihood she's going to get involved with this person. And I don't think it's going to last. I think she's going to have this wah, wah, wah ending with this person. Because it's just not going to do it for her. That's what I got. I hope that helped you, love. You'll have to let me know, Anastasia, but that's what I am picking up. Yeah, I agree with you. Better to know than not. I know. You are such a good heart, Anastasia. And whether it's Emma or someone else, you deserve so much happiness. I want that for you. Jesse, Sometimes I agree with you. Love is almost as scary as getting into a fist fight. Oh gosh. But yeah, that's what I got. All right. So let's read for Kara. Kara is Jasmine. Before I read for Kara, Jasmine, I wanted to point out something very interesting. You gave me your placements earlier, and I remember you have a 10th house stellium, and which is very significant because you made mention I have only just a smidge of Capricorn. Baby. No, 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 no. No, my love. That 10th house stellium, you are a closet Capricorn, is what you are. I don't know what's in that stellium, Jasmine. Yeah, you can't just walk away to protect you. Yeah, that's true, Anastasia. That's a tough situation. But Jasmine, you're a 10th house stellium. Baby, I have a 12th house stellium. You know what I am? A closet Pisces. Now that's behind the scenes. Not many people are going to pick up on that. I think you're an Aquarius rising. Let's see where that puts your sun. Let's see, you're an Aquarius rising. Let's back up. That would make your 12th house Cap. Your 11th house would be Sag. Your 10th house would be Scorpio. Your sun is in your 10th house, probably. A lot of okay, so you got Sag in the 10th house. Okay, and you know what's interesting? So interesting you would say that. If you have Sag as your 10th house, then your sun may very well be in your 9th. Your sun is going to either be in your 9th or your 10th. Nonetheless, you're going to be an interesting blend of Capricorn, Sagittarius vibes, okay? Very interesting blend with that. But the house in this case, especially with the stellium, is much more important than the Sag. Very, very impactful. And stelliums, the energy of whatever house a stellium is in, you cannot run from that energy in this journey, right? I will find you, right? I have a special set of skills and I will find you. Sorry, I just had to channel that. It will find you, and you're just faced with continual issues around the house. And in this case, I would recommend that you study up on 10th house stelliums. I would look at the specific planets that are there, any other placements that are in there, because they're going to all blend together like a big fat conjunction, okay? And so you have a lot of Saturnian lessons. Now, I'm not I love astrology, and I've delved into it a lot. Here's what I know about Saturnian lessons. They're not easy, but they're not the worst. Saturn, let me tell you what Saturn likes. Let me tell you what that 10th house is looking for. Let me tell you right now what your goal is. Here's what you got to master. Discipline, responsibility, honoring commitments. And here I have told you, take care of yourself. Discipline, responsibility, consistency. Do not confuse this with burning yourself out, because one of the challenges of that 10th house stellium is learning to not burn yourself out and pacing yourself, which is really comes back to and kind of goes hand in hand with what we talked about. The only way that you can master this 10th house stellium is if you're energetically vibing in the best Jasmine energy, right? So consistency, learning the lessons, taking accountability, responsibility, stability. The themes are going to be around achievement, reputation, success, and not getting it twisted. One of the lessons for you is probably going to be, and I already kind of feel like this may be here, I think we may have seen this and not realized it. I think one of the things that you might struggle with that 10th house stellium, and this is an easy thing to get trapped up in and not even realize it, is confusing your self-worth and your value with what you accomplish and what you knock off of your to-do list and how much you do for other people. and how much you produce, productivity. Those are the themes around that thing. Those are well and good, but your value here does not equal your level of productivity, my little 10th house stellium friend. Oh no. Your value is because you are. The end. That's all that is needed. And when you can handle the balance between all of that, that's going to help you master that 10th house stellium. Take it from a very Saturnian placement person. There we go. Yeah, and trying to do it all and failing. And see, part of that 10th house Saturnian lesson is to teach you can't do it all, so don't bite off more than you can chew. I get it. I'm bad myself to overpromise. You know, if I did if I just went with my gut or just went with instinct, I would overpromise and underdeliver. And when I overpromise, my heart is there. Trust me, I mean it. But I'll just overextend myself. And so I intentionally build things into my daily schedule, blank spots. I do that. I have to, because I know how I roll. And what's crazy with that 10th house stellium, you mentioned the word failing. Heavy Capricorn, heavy Saturnian, 10th house energy, failure hits different and it's hard. And you've got to learn that failure has nothing to do with your value. So I hope that helps you, Jasmine. I hope that helps you navigate that 10th house stellium a little bit. All right, we are on Kara. Let's go to Kara. Kara is, speaking of Capricorn, tonight must be a lot of Capricorns coming in. All right, here we go. Capricorn. Will my family and I be safe and happy with the house we are moving into? That is such a beautiful Capricorn question, and I love it. Touches my little Capricorn moon heart. Will the promotion that is coming bring a nice pay increase? Also Capricorn energy. I am here for it, Kara. I am so here for it. All right. Let's take a look about the energies around how your family and the energies and the house that we're moving into. Let's take a look. Give me the energies around this house and the family dynamic within the walls. Is the house a home? Let's take a look. Give me the dynamics of this new house and the family dynamic. Give me this new house and the family dynamic. Hold on. Ooh. Give me this. That was good. That was a good one, Kara. That card. But we're going to see what the rest of the cards say. I liked that. That was the Justice in the upright. Something is going to work out in your favor relative to this house, or it already has. There is or was something pending around this house that was an unknown. That's going to work to your favor. I don't know what that is. It could be something as simple as being approved for it. It could be a purchase or a deed. I'm getting legal beagle stuff. But it could just be something working in your favor. I feel the universe smiling on you with that Justice card around this house, okay? Tell me about the vibe on this house. You are welcome, Jasmine. You're welcome. Yes. The answer is yes. And I like the vibe. And let's talk about it. The Hermit in reverse, the Knight of Cups in the upright. The Three of Wands in the upright. Here's what I get. If there are people that are not, if there are people in this family dynamic that are a little bit distant with each other, closed off, maybe don't speak as much, or just distance. There's distance between people. That's going to go away. That distance is going to go away. There's a more loving energy with the Knight of Cups. People are moving toward each other in a loving way. And the Three of Wands in the upright. Absolutely beautiful. Because the Three of Wands in the upright is, come let us reason together. Let us work together to make the house a home. Let's share in the responsibilities of keeping this house everything that we want it to be. Let's make it a home. Let's work together. There's a camaraderie here with the Three of Wands in the family dynamic. There is a working together, and there is a goal there's a common goal that everybody shares relative to this new living situation, okay? That people are on board and working together. There's a lot of teamwork in this Three of Wands. And hey, wise bow alchemist, how are you? So I like it. I get peace in those walls is what I get. And I get love. I get peace and I get love. And I like that. And I also, I keep going back to that Hermit reversed. Somebody comes out of their shell. Somebody opens up that has been closed off in the best of ways, okay? So I don't know if that makes sense to you. If there's somebody that has been distanced or closed off, or you've been worried about somebody not opening up about something, this feels like a safe. In fact, the Hermit reversed with this other stuff. Your house becomes a place that is safe, emotionally safe for people to open up and talk. I like that. Emotional safety is so important. So, Kara, I like that. I like that for you. That's pretty amazing. That's some pretty good energy around the house. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. I think this is a really big change in the dynamic that your family may be used to. You tell me if I'm wrong. I think this is a game changer. With this house. In the best of ways. All right, so we're going to look at your promotion. Tell me about the money associated with this promotion. Is this going to be what Kara is hoping for, money-wise? Is this going to be what Kara is hoping for, money-wise? How will this go relative to the money associated with this promotion? How will this be with the money associated with this promotion? How is the money associated with this promotion? How is the money associated? You feel so, okay, good. How is the money associated with this promotion? How's the money going to be for Kara, the Capricorn? How's the money? Do we have what we need? Do we have what we want? Do we have some happy vibes associated with the pay increase here? What can you tell me about the pay increase associated with this promotion? What can you tell me? Yes. My God. Kara. I know you don't know what this card is because you probably can't read it from there. This is the Wheel of Fortune, my love. This is Jupiter. This is Jupiter. This is insane. This is crazy. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about a conjunction that has just been going on and where it hits you as an Aquarius. It's been in your 6th house of workplace, which is, it's a favorable conjunction between Jupiter and Venus. Just so you know, this is opportunity, expansion, growth, luck, serendipity. It's all the good things associated with Jupiter. I think you've been worried about that. You have no reason to worry. You have no reason to worry. You are going to be Knight of Pentacles. You're going to be, almost, tell me about that Knight of Pentacles. That's a good energy, but tell me more about that. Kara. This is going to seem like a strange question, but I'm going to ask it. I'm going out on a limb here. Do you have a second job or another source of income, something that you do? There's something that you do. In other words, I get this lessening your workload. Or maybe it's just lessening some stress, okay? Or maybe I'm seeing you paying some bills off. I'm not sure what this is, but there's something here that you get to no longer have to do. I don't know if that makes sense. Is it a second job? Is it a side hustle? Is it, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just a struggle in the grind. I don't know. But things get a lot better as far as your stress level. I mean, that's the rest of the story. You need to let me know if I'm crazy or if I'm picking up on something that would make sense to you. Because I need to know, because I got some real specific stuff there. If not, I'm going to interpret this a different way. If that did not make sense to you, the short answer to your question about your job is yes, there is a nice, handsome pay raise. And let me talk about the Knight of Pentacles here. Let's talk about that Knight of Pentacles. In my readings, knights are usually movement. Oh my God, yes, I work full-time in healthcare and part-time for another company. I fucking nailed it. I nailed it. You're walking away from your part-time job. You ain't got to work no more, unless you just want to. I fucking nailed it. She got a side hustle. There you go. Either you're not going to have to work as much or you're going to walk away from it completely. Wow, Jesse. I kept getting that and it was screaming at me. Kara, that was screaming at me about she's walking away from something, but it's not costing her anything. In fact, she's better off. And I kept saying, she's got a second job she's walking away from. She's got a second job. And I'm like, if I say that to her, she's going to think I've lost my fucking mind. That's crazy, Kara. That's insane. I love tarot sometimes. I swear to God. Like, I didn't know that that was out of the ethers. I'm blown the hell away. Woo! Okay. I kept saying, that's not, no way. She didn't have a second job. She didn't mention a second job. What are you, crazy? Sorry, had to. Thank you, Kara. You were fun to read for, by the way. You were fun to read for. That was fun. I enjoyed reading for you. I always enjoy reading for people, no matter what. But that one was just one I won't forget soon. That's all. For any of you guys who are intuitives, psychics, mediums, you read cards, you'll understand my predicament that I was in just then. It's like when your intuition is, sometimes I'm sitting here and y'all can't see this, but sometimes it's like I am sitting here and I'm getting a message and my guides will be just knocking me in the head going, say it, say it, say it. And I'm like, I can't say that. And they're going, say it, bitch. And so I do. That's how my guides talk to me. They're very blunt like me. So yeah. Anyway, that was the predicament. And I finally just spit it out. We are all witches and wizards. Exactly, Jesse. Exactly. You're right. It's just that some of us are aware of it, right? All right. We are reading for Suzanne. Thank you, Kara. Thank you. Appreciate your love. Let's read for Suzanne. Suzanne she's a Gemini. She's a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. Happy belated birthday, Suzanne. Italian man and I had a falling out. His name is Giacomo. When you know, yeah. What to expect? What do we expect from Giacomo? Gemini in the house. Woo! What about Giacomo? What can we expect from Giacomo? What can we expect from Giacomo, please? What can we expect from the Italian stallion? Sorry, I had to, Suzanne. What can we expect from Giacomo? What can we expect from Giacomo toward Suzanne? What can we expect from Giacomo toward Suzanne? What can we expect? What do we got? What do we got from Giacomo the Italian toward Suzanne the Gemini? Give me Giacomo. Give me Giacomo towards Suzanne. Ace of Pentacles. Queen of Swords. King of Cups. He's coming towards you, my love, with an offer. I'm not sure what the falling out was, but I get a solid offer and a confession of love with the King of Cups. It's interesting. He's coming in as the King of Cups. You're coming in as the Queen of Swords. Very interesting. And I don't go by gender usually, but Queen of Swords is air. What I get from this thing is this. If I had to guess, and let me just intuit a little bit on this thing. Based on my cards and based on the fact that you had a falling out, and what I'm seeing is this. I think you may have stood your ground about something or set a boundary or, as I said, or drawn some sort of line in the sand around what you will and will not settle for, what you expect, something of that nature. You may have set a boundary around, we have fucked around long enough. It's time to take this to the next level as far as a relationship goes. It could be some, I kind of feel like with that Ace of Pentacles, that may be what's up. because he is coming toward you with a stable offer with the intent to stick around. With that Ace of Pentacles. You did. Okay. Well, he's coming with a soft heart and an offer. So let's, I got to dig on this a little bit more for you. Did you check his ego? Did you pop that ego? You're Italian, but did you pop that ego? Did you pop that Italian stallion's ego just a little bit with that Queen of Swords energy? Woo! It may have needed it. It may have needed it. You know what he said? I got to shit or get off the pot. He literally says this. I got to shit or get off the pot. 2 of Wands in reverse. Strength in reverse. 10 of Wands in reverse. No more dilly-dallying. No more bullshit. The Sun card. That's what I want. That's what I want with Suzanne. The happily ever after. There you go. That's what I got. Ego popped a little bit. There you go. Can I embody the Queen of Swords just a moment? Can we have a little Gemini fun real quick? Can we do that? Because you went off on him a little bit. Yeah. You know, as a fellow Gemini, I feel you, babe. Okay, I feel you. Because, you know, we are all about the fun and frivolity and the jokes and the ha-ha and, you know, hee and ha-ha, and we flirt and we laugh and we joke. And you keep crossing that boundary and you go meet that other twin, and that's when you meet the Queen of Swords and you get the serious-faced Gemini that you probably haven't seen. And the Gemini is suddenly not joking and copying jokes anymore and coming back with banter and witty one-liners like we often do. And we get a very serious, sobering look on our face. And we're not playing. And not many people are prepared for that side of Gemini, but it exists. And you know it, Suzanne, and so do I. And I think that's where you are. I think that's where you are. And yeah, going off on him, yeah, calling him out, speaking your truth. Very serious look on that Gemini face. Yeah, there's always that, yes, they're always shocked with the other twin. Yes, they are. We're all about having fun. Look, Gemini catnip, banter, one-liners, cutting up, deep, intelligent conversations. But we can go into that Queen of Swords mode, and people a lot of times do not see that happening. Especially a high vibrational Gemini that has some self-respect. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll absolutely do it. Yeah, she can be cold. She's very serious. She's like, this is how it's gonna be, or it's not gonna be. That. I'm here for it. Hey, Suzanne, your job now. You do realize that you don't just walk away from here with your answer, right? Your job now is to let us know how this goes. We have to know. We have to know whenever. You have to keep us posted. That's the way it works here at the cottage. That's the way it works. Maria, let me add you to the list, baby. You'll be after Jenna, who is up next. So let me put Maria here. All right. There we go. Did it come up? There she is. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Love you, Auntie Karen. Absolutely. Italian Stally. Ah, there you go. Love it, Suzanne. Love, love, love that for you. All right. So this is Jenna. We are still Gemini vibing. Saggy Sun, Gemini Moon, stellium, and we still got the Capricorn vibe going on too. We got a stellium in Capricorn for Jenna. All right, beautiful. Let's see. Hold on one second, Jenna. Let me wet my whistle with some tea. Let's see what we got. Ba, 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 ba. All right, Jenna Benna. Jenna is a Saggy Sun, Gemini Moon, stellium in Capricorn. You have your moon in the 7th house. So believe it or not, you're just a smidge of a Libra in your moon. Nonetheless, Jenna, let's get some advice for you. What is Jenna, the Saggy, Gemini, Capricorn vibe mix need to know? Give me the advice for Jenna. Give me advice for Jenna. The advice for Jenna. Advice for Jenna. The advice for Jenna. That actually makes sense to me. Jenna, okay, I'm going to give you some quick, this came to me. Stop setting yourself on fire to keep other people warm. There's some other stuff to come out for you, but that's here. Also, not every burden is yours to carry. Not every problem is yours to solve. That came out too. Those are the two things that I got for you immediately. I'm going to pull the cards for you, Jenna, but those two things came out, or really those are just, yeah. Jenna, the empath in me struggles that. Yes, you've got to learn to shield. You've got to learn to shield. What I see here, there is a decision that I see in your future that you need to really weigh out and not let anybody push you to make. I kind of think this may have to do with this is a past lover that you love, period, okay? This is a past lover that you love. You have love for this person, and there's not a thing in the world wrong with that. Love is love. Feelings are feelings, right? But there's obstacles here, and I think you're aware of this, all right, with the Judgment in the reverse. There's obstacles here. And I think you may have this inclination to turn a blind eye. Hey, hearing me? I think you may have this temptation or such to turn a blind eye to the obstacles, right? And the issues. And the issues are still there. Whatever they were, they are still there. And I feel like it may be time to make some sort of a decision moving away from this, releasing this. All right? And this person may come back around. I may be seeing that. I definitely have someone that you have history with, and I don't think you're with this person. And I think you're going to be presented with a decision. And this could be just within you or literally this person coming toward you. Either way, the cards suggest that you know what the issues are. You're aware. And not to rush into something. Not to rush into something. It's time to learn the art of making a head over heart decision. And Jenna, I want you to do me a favor. I did an all signs reading earlier today, and I don't know if you watched that or any part of that, but this is going to sound odd because I'm going to send you to a sign that I don't see on your in your information that you sent. I'm going to send you to watch Aquarius more towards the end, and then I finished the Aquarius read, and then after I finished the Aquarius read and before I started the Pisces read, I gave about a 3 to 5 minute TED talk on the Aquarius superpower of making head over heart decisions. And I want you to look at that and I want you to listen to that, okay? Probably if you go to Jenna, the Pisces timestamp and rewind about 5-ish minutes, that'll probably take you to where you need to be. Okay, and I talked about the Aquarian superpower and how we all could learn from that. And oh my God, North Node, there you go. This is calling you toward your North Node, my friend. This is calling you toward your North Node. The superpower of Aquarians. You may, Jenna, given that this is your North Node, you may watch that whole reading. You may just go to the Aquarius timestamp, watch it all the way through, and you'll think I'm finished talking to the Aquarians, but if you hang tight and let me blabber a minute, I'll start, you'll see I start kind of about a 3 to 5 minute TED talk about Aquarians and their superpower. And I want you to specifically pay attention to that part of that all signs today. In fact, somebody suggested that I clip that into a short, and I may. I can't remember who suggested that, but it's one of my homies, my regulars, that said that, and they were not wrong. And so the art of making a head over heart decision, and it really is not a head over heart. I've often called it that, but it's actually choosing yourself. So it is an emotional decision. It's just having more love for yourself than you do another person, and that's okay. That's healthy. That's catnip for me. So I want you to see that. And if this makes sense to you, if I have hit on something, I want you to see that. I hope that helps. I hope that helps, Jenna Boo. You watched Taurus from that. I heard that. Hey, Analea, how are you? Analea Sean. Gonna watch that as well. There you go, Jasmine. I mean, quite honestly, the little 3 to 5 minute TED talk that I did, it was talking about Aquarians, but every one of us should work toward what I talked about. That should be a goal for everyone. I don't care. Thank you, Jessie. Thank you for that. So I gave about 3 different TED Talks today. I don't know what the hell hit me today, but I was in a mood. I was in a TED Talk kind of a mood today, and I gave probably about 3 TED Talks throughout that whole all signs. I don't know who was there, if any of y'all were there from start to finish, but you'll know. But that was the one that I distinctly, and the reason I remember it is because I was having a conversation about it after the all signs and before this live stream with a friend of mine who has an Aquarius placement, and I was talking about that. Anyway, so that's how I remember that, because I had gone back and watched, because I'm like, let me find this, and I found it for her. So yeah, so that's how I remembered that. See, nothing is by accident. I needed to know that for tonight. I needed to be able to go back to my memory and remember that for Jenna, and I didn't know I needed to know that. So everything happens for a reason. Absolutely, everything happens for a reason. That's how things roll. All right. Next up is Maria. I love the name Maria. So pretty. All right. Let me timestamp for Maria. Yes, not apologizing. I remember that for the Taurus now that you mentioned that. I do. All right, so Maria, Aries rising, Cancer sun, Virgo moon. What's unfolding in my career? Everything seems stuck currently, and my applications get rejected all the time. Let's take a look. Let's look at Maria's career situation. There she is. Hey, love bug. Let's take a look at Maria's career situation. Let's take a look at Maria's career. And let's take a look at the stuck energy. The stuck energy. Let's talk about that. What does she need to know? She need to know. Are you listing references or prior jobs as references? You have something here. Ace of Cups, Hangman, okay. 10 of Cups. All right. So, Maria, it would be very easy for me to say, oh, you got a new job and you're going to be happy. And that is true, but I'm not going to stop there. I'm not going to stop there because I can't skip over the Hangman. A lot of people would look at the Hangman and say, well, it's just taking a long time. You got to be patient. No, the Hangman's telling you something. Hangman's talking to you, and we're going to listen, and I'm going to tell you what the Hangman's having to say for you. Currently doing consulting, been applying for full-time roles. Okay, here's what I think. I think that it is time to take a step back. I don't think it's time to take a break from putting in applications, but I think take a step back and look at your approach. And even look at how you're going about this, maybe what you're putting on your applications, what you're not putting on your applications. I want you to look at your references very closely as well. And I want to make sure that everybody that could talk about you is on your team, if you know what I mean, because I picked up on some of that. But the other thing is, it may be that you might want to course correct on your career to something that is more aligned with your passion. Is there a course correction? Possibly. Getting something that is more aligned with your purpose and your passion, okay? And you're going to feel that from your heart because that's where the money is. I'll be honest with you. If you're following your passion and your purpose and your heart, you're going to that's where the best money is. That's where the longevity is. That's where the smiles and the happiness and the heart, the touching of the heart happens. And that's different for all of us, right? A lot of that takes a lot of inner work, which also is associated with the Hangman many times. But it's time to take a step back and reevaluate. What do I need to do differently? Do I need to look at a different career path? Do I need to look at what I'm putting on my applications, how I'm presenting myself, that sort of thing? I want you to take back and examine. I want you to take a step back and examine your entire approach, and maybe even a trusted associate that could give you a good objective eye to your applications and your such. Somehow I got it, but passion alone can't pay my bills in this economy. I respectfully disagree. I respectfully disagree. And let me just give you a backstory on that. And I know a lot of people who are going to agree with me on this. You may not know this about me, Maria. I am a former CPA, Certified Public Accountant. I graduated in a very, I was like third in my GPA class. I walked into a premier role. I had the world at my feet, okay? I spent 30 years in that profession and I was miserable. And I really had a rocky road, and it was because I was not where I was supposed to be. And it was very much in alignment with my South Node, which is what I needed to be moving away from. And I started my spiritual awakening when I was in 2017. A catalyst occurred in my life, and I started a spiritual awakening. And I started on my journey of working on myself and spirituality. And I was watching tarot a lot. And in 2019, I got the idea that I wanted to start a tarot channel. But I said, I don't have time. And I even reached out to another reader. And I said, should I do this? And the reader said, of course you should. And I didn't listen to him. And it's a reader I still respect a lot to this day, Rich Lopp. I don't know if you know of him, but that's who I reached out to. He probably does not remember this. But I reached out to him. I had a little bit of a connection with Rich at this point. And I reached out to him and I said, should I do this? And he said, of course you should. And I said, well, okay, but I don't have time. Well, guess what? 2020 happened. I got laid off from my job. The universe made time. I got bored and started a tarot channel. I'm coming up on 6 years in just a few months. The longest I was ever at a job as a CFO, and I held some very prestigious positions that made a lot of money. And I was good at what I did. I just fucking hated it. Okay? So when you take that tack, Maria, you're actually sabotaging your manifesting of your best life. Of somehow I got it, but passion alone can't pay the bills. You're putting limits on yourself. And you're driving the reason that that's your reality. Your belief is driving your entire experience, okay? I get that the economy's bad. I get it. But your economy doesn't have to be bad. Just because the world economy is bad doesn't mean that your economy is bad. Those are two separate things, okay? Your economy has nothing to do with the United States of America or the world and how they're vibing economically. Two totally different things. That's comparing apples to oranges. You have control over your economy, okay? So this is the thing. 2020 made time for me. I have never been so happy in my entire life. I don't say you're supposed to read tarot. Maybe you're supposed to be a data analyst or a vet or whatever. Mostly feel unaligned, but I don't know yet what to do. Well, I get that, Maria, and what I can tell you is this. If you don't figure it out, the universe will put you in a place where you got no choice. For me, it was a tower. I lost my job. I had no income. Zero. None. And I learned that there is no such thing as job security. There is no such thing as the assurity of your next paycheck, because I was doing a good job. Trust and believe. I absolutely was. Love what you do and do what you love, and that's where you'll be the wealthiest. And I make more, and for what it's worth, as a chief financial officer, a seasoned and a good chief financial officer for a very prestigious company, okay? I make more money now than I ever thought about making then. And it's been that way the whole time. Fun fact. I bet y'all didn't know that, but it's true. And my work doesn't feel like work. And here's the litmus test, Maria. Here's your litmus test. Is it my passion? How will I know? Here's how you'll know. If any of you ask me this question, say that Jesse won the Super Powerball, okay? and Jesse sent me $10 million. Okay? Let's just paint that scenario. And I never had to work again a day in my life because all my needs are met. I've got more money than I could shake a stick at. My daughter's set, her daughter's set. I mean, and on, okay? And I was sitting there with $10 million in my hands. And then you turned to me and you said, Karen, would you still read tarot? Would you still give people life advice? Would you still encourage people to heal? There's no answer except absolutely. Absolutely, I would. I would absolutely do it. It shouldn't feel like work. It should feel like what you enjoy. I'm not going to lie. I get tired some days. Some days, yeah, it feels like I need discipline. So, yeah, maybe I would take more days off, but guarantee you, I'd be doing what I love and living what I do, even if I never had to make another dollar in my life. The fact that I can do what I love and love what I do and make money at it, pretty good money, is just the biggest blessing ever. That's what's up. That's what's up, Maria. That's what's up. That's your stuck energy right there, and that's probably the brick wall. The universe is probably screaming at you about taking a different tack and rethinking your entire career goals. That's what I got. Hope that helps. But it's here. And I'm going to tell you the interesting thing about this thing. Your job didn't come in with pentacles. Your new job, your new role, baby, it was all heart. It was all cups. It was all water. It was all heart. It was all about what makes you feel happy. It's what makes your heart go full. The money, it'll come with this stuff. If this comes out, you can bet your sweet bippity. If this 10 of Cups comes out on a career read, you can bet your sweet bippity the money's here. That's a given. I ain't got to pull cards on that. I know how things roll. That's what's up. I hope that helped you, Maria. That's what I got. Yes, absolutely. Redirection. Yes, this is a reset. This is a course correction. This is a reset. It's a pivotal moment in your life. And I'm not, let me tell you something, Maria. The story I just told you, my story, which is worth telling, the story I just shared with you, make no mistake, oh, it was not easy. It was scary as fuck. There were so many deer in the headlight moments along the first 8 months, 10 months of that journey. It was scary. It was hard. It was hard. And if you could know the obstacles that I overcame in creating this channel, let me tell you, most people don't know this, but back in the day when I first started with my channel, financially, clearly I was just starting out, so I had no money and I wasn't making any money at first, right? And so I was very limited financially, and I did not have home internet at all. And my cell phone had one bar where I lived because I was out in bumfuck, Alabama. Okay? Bumfuck. So here's what I would have to do, and I did this daily, every day for 6 months, and I didn't take a day off. Every day for 6 months, I would be at my house, and I would pre-record a reading. And I would drive to about 10 minutes away to a local municipality, and I would piggyback off their public Wi-Fi, and I would sit there and I would upload from my car. I would upload all my content from my car when I first started my channel for the first good 6 months that I had a channel. And then I started making a little money, and I got a place, and I got internet, and I started going live. And it's just been uphill all the way from there. You can do it. Let me tell you, I had a $20 deck of tarot cards and a cell phone. You take what you've got and you make it work. It just depends on how bad you want it. It's there. It's there. It's there. And you're not alone. It's there for anybody that wants it. It's just who's willing to do the work. And that, by the way, is a very Saturnian lesson in and of itself. Just side note for those of you that have Capricorn vibes in your chart that we've talked to earlier, if you're still here. That's what's up. But I'm not ashamed of that story. I'm super proud of it. Alchemy. Alchemy. Yes. Thank you, Jenna. Thank you for the feedback. Wow. That's super cool. I love hearing that, Jenna. Thank you for letting me hear from you on that. Love, love, love it. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up. I'm sitting here shutting everything down, but I'm not going to shut the live down for just a minute, just in case somebody booked and it gets caught in the crosshairs, the timing thing. And it'll take me that long to do my thing. But that's what's up. So I think you can do whatever you want to do. Hey, Journey with Miki, building something from nothing. Yes. Oh, yes. Absolutely. You know what's funny? I will also add a footnote to my story while I'll multitask and I'll add a footnote to that story. I want to make it very clear that I have zero regrets for the education and the experiences that I had in the field of accounting. Okay? I use that knowledge every day. And is it necessary to have that knowledge to do what I do? No, but I feel like it makes me better at what I do. It helps me a lot in a lot of ways. And it goes beyond just the financial side of things. Well, hey, Francesca. So I don't regret that at all. And I wouldn't take anything for it, because when people come to me and they are struggling with, work settings and toxic work environments, okay, I get it. I've worked in some hella toxic work environments. And they're more often than not, you deal with toxic work environments. I would say 80% of the work environments, maybe more, are toxic, period. Point blank, period. And I know that sounds pessimistic. I don't mean it to be. So the point I'm making is navigating through those energies on the daily is tough, but I get it because I've done it. And I think having done it gives me the ability to relate and understand in a way that if I had never done that, I couldn't relate to you. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. Just watch Remarkable Bright Creatures. Such a feel-good movie. Thank you for sharing that. I did not know that, and I'm glad you told us that, Angel Eyes. Highly recommend, she says. I agree. I think it's hard to beat the School of Hard Knocks, Angel Eyes. She says life experiences help for sure. I agree. I'm right with you there. I'm going to be real with you. People that I connect with, friendships, in any capacity, I much prefer connection in any capacity, whether it's friend, romance, in any sort of capacity. I like connecting with, my preference is to connect with people who have rebuilt themselves and come back from impossible situations. And I even posted that. Did y'all see that post the other day that I put on my community post? I'm going to go back and it's worth, I put this on here. It says, I will always love the ones who overcomes seemingly insurmountable circumstances. You are my people. And it's because I just, if you know, you know. And that's not to diss anyone that hasn't come up in a hard situation or overcome impossible circumstances at all. No, because I have friends like that too, and that's great. And I smile and I think, oh, look at you and your charmed life. I'm really happy for you. But in a way, you miss out on that box of darkness, and that box of darkness is just the biggest gift ever. It's just that most people don't realize that that's what it is. That trauma, those hard times, those rocky roads. That's what turning pain into power is what it's all about. And that's what makes people powerful, is when they know what to do with that box of darkness. And it took me a number of years to get there, but I finally started to figure it out. And I'm on that journey. Remarkably. Okay. Yeah, it's just a different type of appreciation. Yeah. I think the ability to really put yourself in another person's shoes is greatly enhanced whenever you've actually worn those shoes, right? I mean, I do a lot of romance reading. I do a lot of reading anyway, but I do a lot of romance readings. I read for all sorts of things. I read for business. I read for people who have investments and things of that nature, and those are fun. And the romance readings, though, the questions that we get, the struggles that people have in romance, I won't say I've been in every one of those situations, but I've been in a lot of them, and I'm not going to ever say I know how you feel whenever I read for you. But what I will say is I know how I felt. I know how I felt when I got cheated on. I know how I felt whenever I was with a verbally, physically, emotionally abusive person. I know how I felt when I got rejected. I know how those ghosted. I know how those things felt to me, and it sucked ass. And it hurt. And there have been times in my life that I felt debilitated and unable to function. So from that standpoint, I'm not going to say I hurt as bad as you. I would never say that. Pain is pain. And it all hits us differently. But trust me when I tell you, when I do romance readings and I read for situations, I can probably relate, because I've probably walked in some similar shoes. So yeah, I do too, Jesse. I do too. I'm very blessed in that respect. I'm very blessed in that respect. I have a very nice community. Just don't tell me how I feel. Yes, exactly. I agree. That's why I'll never say I know how you feel. I think people, when they say that to people, I think they mean well, but it can come off dismissive. Like, oh, I've experienced that. No, maybe not. Who can measure pain? How can you measure emotions? How can you measure love and heartbreak? You can't quantify that shit. It hits differently, period. And there's so much that goes into how heartbreak and emotional pain impacts each individual person. It's going to be different. So I agree with you on that. I do think people mean well, but I think it's very condescending. Worst is when someone tells me how much I could, yeah. You know what I also find ridiculously dismissive? Just move on, find someone else. That's the absolute worst thing you can tell a person. And I still think that people give that advice and mean well. I really do. But, come on. This person is shattered in pieces over here. You think they're in any shape to take that battered, beat up heart and hand it to somebody else for them to just stomp even harder? Come on now. It is not time to go back into the battlefield. It is time to go to the hospital. Right? It's time to go to the spiritual hospital, aka the enchanted cottage, right? So you can't measure that stuff. That's insane. I often refer to that kind of stuff as trying to fill up a box with water. You can't do that. Like it's a shelf of people with emotional connections you already have. Yeah. Have I been cheated on? Yeah. Have I been lied to? Yeah. Have I been, drugged through the ringer, ghosted? You name it. I've had it. Does that mean I know how? I'm a pick on you, Angel Eyes. Does that mean that if Angel Eyes got cheated on, that I know how she feels? Hell no. I just know how I felt. And that's enough. That's enough empathy right there. I'm good. I've got the empathy to do this, if that makes sense. Yeah. Hey, Derek, how you doing? Speaking of nice family, nice cottage family, there's one right there. How you doing, Derek? Good to see you. It is emotional manipulation. I fully agree. I agree with you. I agree. Hey, Derek. Derek, I'm going to pin your comment. Hey, Derek, love is always in the air if you love yourself. But you're right. Love is in the air. I couldn't agree more. Yes, you would. See, thank you for saying that. Angel Eyes says, yes, she would feel disrespected. I said, I know exactly how you feel because I know how I felt when I got cheated on. That is so dismissive. Yes, I agree. I am good, Derek. Thank you for asking. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Um, yeah, you can relate, but you don't necessarily. I think we all feel different. I think cheating probably hits all of us in a different way. It's not, it's always going to suck, right? None of us are sitting there going, oh, please cheat on me. It's never good, or it's never pleasant. Let's just put it that way. It's never pleasant, right? But it's going to feel differently. There's no way that I could know how you feel. That's impossible. Only you know that. I can describe how I feel. You can describe how you feel, and there would probably be a lot of similarities. I feel disappointed. I feel sad. I feel betrayed. All those things, but even that doesn't measure. That's just descriptors. You and I could describe the same. I could describe a person to you right now, and I could say, well, here's the thing. It's a male. They're 6'2". They're olive complexion, and they have brown hair, and they're confident, and they're well muscled, and they're in their mid-30s, and they're funny. They have a good sense of humor. They're a bit flirty. I could get pretty specific, and that would describe probably a million people in the world. It's hard, That's not going to narrow it down. Not that much, right? And the same is true for describing how heartbreak feels. All you can really say at the end of the day, it just sucks ass. It just sucks ass. We can all agree on that. So, yeah, there you go. My past marriage didn't end due to cheating, so nothing prepares you for the level of disrespect. Dating after, oh my God. Angel. Girl, that is Pandora's box right there. Girl. I can't even. Like if I step up, Angel Eyes, if I stepped up on that soapbox, this live would still be going on with the sun comes up here. Right? It's the healing and inner work after the cheating that is the hardest. So you don't carry that baggage in the future. And that's so important. Yes, Jasmine, that is absolutely essential. I fully agree with you, love. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's beautiful weather where you are. Great summer, yes. Until the past couple of weeks, Derek, here in Lower Alabama, the weather has been beautiful. But we've had some rough tornadic weather off and on in the past couple of days, especially. You're looking for your end game. There you go. I love that. Been promised and offered so much. It must be, yeah. Yeah. I want to be your end game. I love that song. I like the Kendrick Lamar rap part of it too. I can't take it. Isn't that? No, wait. That's Bad Blood that he does the rap in. Our End Game. Who's in End Game? Ed Sheeran, and somebody else is in End Game. I forget. No Low Hanging Fruit. You damn right. You know, remember Jesse? Jesse, remember when Uncle L used to say, don't swim in the shallow end. Swim, because I made the comment one time to Uncle L. I said, Uncle L, there's pee in the dating pool. And he said, you're in the shallow end. Go in the deep end. I loved that. I thought that was so sweet. But yeah. I don't know if you remember, he used to say that from time to time, Jesse. That was an uncleism. Go to the deep end. I loved it. I can be their ghost story. Woo! Yep. Exactly. But I get that, Jesse. Having your eye on the end game, that's good. You're dating with intention, and that's pretty amazing. You know, it narrows the number of candidates that you would consider, but that's okay. You stay to that. You keep your focus. Oil floats to the top. There you go. Have I heard the song? I have not. Ghost Story. I don't know that song, Angel Eyes. As of late, I have been vibing on The Weekend a lot. I don't know why. I've been vibing on The Weekend. I always uh, sprinkle in some Kendrick Lamar from time to time. I'm enjoying my single life, and if love comes or comes back correct, then fine. Yes. There you go. I sure missed my calling as a gigolo. God, Derek, you're such a hot mess. Carrie Underwood. Okay, Ghost Story. I'll have to listen to that. I've not vibed on Carrie in a while. I used to like to do karaoke. I used to like to do Carrie karaoke. I would sing Carrie songs karaoke. My favorite was my favorite one to do from her was I used to do Last Name. There was another one that I did, and I can't remember which one it was. I love to do Last Name was a fun karaoke song. It's all right, Derek. It's aren't you a Cancer, Derek? It's your season. You get to play. You get to Cancer. And by the way, Derek, if I'm correct, happy Cancer season. Happy birthday. But I don't even know my last name. Find a man who likes to please. I don't want a man that wants to please me. Saggy sun. Okay, well, happy Cancer season, my Sagittarius friend. But it's okay, I'm all over the place. Fair enough, fair enough. Um, I don't want a man that wants to please me. I'm good on that. I'm all good on that. I want a man that's curious about me, that wants to get to know me. When I find that, I'll let you know. So far, and Angel Eyes, you touched on this. So far, I've come up sorely lacking. But there you have it. Oh, Karen, I don't mean as a pushover. I mean a man who desires to see you happy at any cost. I still don't like it, Derek. I get it. I kind of get it, except leave off the at any cost. Because I don't want a person to give up themselves to make me happy. Because that's actually going to be counterproductive, right? Yes, reciprocity, intellectual connection, very important. Banter, intellectual connection, those are catnip. Beyond that, I got to see something real. I want to see something real. Yeah, desperation. Yeah. And I know you're a Sag. You get it, Derek. You're a Sag. You get that. I've been a people pleaser for too long. Yes. Yeah. But Derek, I'm not worried about you because you're a Sag. Sag is never going to lose their identity. All other things being equal. No. You'll always be Sag. You'll always be Derek. Yes. I love the banter too. And banter is the catnip. I want something that gives me a reason to pull my Capricorn moon out of the closet and my Cancer Venus. The Gemini sun is going to be intrigued by a lot of things. Just because I'm interested doesn't make a person a romantic candidate either. I find a lot of things interesting. I find house fires interesting. It doesn't mean I want to experience one. I find serial killers fascinating. That doesn't mean I want to meet up with one on a dark alley. Hey, Mitzi, what's up? So that's kind of, and that's where Geminis get mistaken, and we get, that's where people get tripped up, is this. Geminis will be interested in a person, in their circumstance. I'm going to use an example. Can I use an example? Let's just say that I'm a reporter. Or no, I'm not even a reporter. I'm just a Gemini. And I'm doing my Gemini thing. And I run across a man who is convinced that Bigfoot stole his lawnmower. Okay? The most outlandish thing you ever saw. And as a Gemini, I'm not going to sit and call him an idiot. I'm going to go, I wonder why he thinks that. And I would walk up to him and say, sir, tell me more. Tell me about Bigfoot. Did you see him, or did you just see his tracks? Wait, where were his tracks? What do they look like? What color was the lawnmower? How did this make you feel? And we've gone into this entire dialogue, and suddenly this man thinks that I'm interested in him romantically. And nothing could be further from the truth, because I've not judged him, but on the inside, I'm pretty sure he's an idiot. This is how Geminis flirt their way into relationships that they don't mean to be in. Thank you, Mitzi. Yeah, I like to know a lot about a lot. It doesn't mean it's my main interest. Exactly. It doesn't mean I want to experience it. Exactly. You live in Bigfoot country. Actually, I do think there's something there. Okay. Do I think Bigfoot goes around stealing lawnmowers? I don't think so. I don't ever rule anything out. So there is that remote possibility that Bigfoot would steal a lawnmower. Hell, I saw a video on YouTube where a bear went into a person's house that was unlocked and stole her vacuum cleaner. I saw it. But yeah. I'm still here, Birdman. Yeah, we just vibing. We just chatting it up. Probably it is your Mars. That drives your curiosity. I'm just being friendly. The next thing you know, I'm getting, yeah. Yeah. There is a meme somewhere lost in my thousands of pictures on my phone. And there's several memes to this effect, but I love this one. It's a Gemini. It's someone walking up the aisle at a wedding. It's a bride, okay, and she's walking up the aisle and she's like looking around like deer in the headlights, and it's like Gemini realizing it's too late to back out of this relationship they flirted themselves into accidentally. Who can relate? Yeah, I in my younger years before I learned discretion. In my younger years, I have literally ended up in relationships, and I'm like, how the hell did I get here? And what do I need to do to get out without hurting this person's feelings? That's a true story. Couple of times in my college years, couple of times, I'd be like, wait a minute, we're dating? I know we slept together. I know I kissed you, but what? That didn't mean anything. We were just messing around. I was just curious if you were good in bed. That's all. Because Geminis are curious. We're just curious. We want to learn about people. I just want to see if you could do the thing. Sagittarius Mars. I'm here for it, Mitzi. I feel you. I feel you. It's like, yeah, I know I slept with you. I just want to know if you were good at it. Do I want to be with you? No. I might sleep with you again if you were good, but you know. But if that's going to rattle your world and you're going to catch feelings or whatever, maybe we should rethink this. Oh, God. We're just so damn curious. And that curiosity, you hear the old adage, curiosity kills the cat. Here you have it, right? Take care, Mitzi. I love you. I'm glad you popped in and said hello. As always, it's good to see you. Your Mars is in Virgo. There you go. Libra Mars. That's a tough placement for Mars. Mars struggles in Libra. It's in detriment in Libra, in fact. Um, Mars struggles in Cancer, and Mars struggles when it's in Pisces. But it really struggles in Libra, and Cancer would be a tough place for it as well. That's a hard Mars, Jesse. That's a hard Mars. That's why you've struggled with people pleasing. That's why you've had to heal that. That was one of your lessons that you came to learn with Mars and Libra. I understand now why you said what you did. Yeah, there you go. And I'm glad that you see that. Once it gets awkward, I'm in professional mode. Right. Detached as fuck. Whoopsie. Whoopsie, I'm engaged. What the fuck? Whoopsie. I have a Cappy Mars. Oh, that's a lovely Capricorn. That's a lovely Mars. But it's squared with Jupiter and Saturn, which were aligned when I was born. Damn, that's some intense energy. So the struggle there, Derek, would be workaholism. Capricorn Mars is a great Mars placement, but the struggle, especially with those squares, one of your lessons is workaholism and getting tangled up in your value being associated with achievements, being productive, that sort of thing. I thought it was I thought this meant we were besties. I thought this meant besties. Well, yeah, I have 10 besties and you're a bestie. Aries Venus. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Libra Venus is Birdie is not going to get mad at me because I know Birdie and he understands my ridiculous humor. But I always say that Libra Venus is just a little bit bougie. The love of beautiful women is real, Birdie. I've seen the pictures. I know. I've seen the look. I would say this if I had seen nothing but a Libra Venus in your chart, but I have seen the receipts to back up my position on you, Birdie. The love of beautiful women is unmatched with that of a Libra Venus. They just like a looker. That doesn't mean they're shallow though. It just means they just like beauty. Yeah, I don't get mad. My past struggle was with Taurus moon. Yikes. Oh, wow. Yeah, I can see that. In a nice world, Taurus moon can be beautiful because the moon is actually exalted in Taurus. I have a friend who has a Taurus moon, and she is just, yeah. She has a Taurus moon. She's just, but I get what you're saying. That can definitely make a person stubborn if you're not careful, right? I like people. Well, that's your Virgo. Well, I don't know though. Do you, Verdi? Do you really? You like some people. You like smart people. I have Taurus women besties. They make good besties. I agree. They're so grounding, right? Taurus, I like Taurus women for friends for sure, yeah. They make good buds. They're pretty solid. I'm pretty partial to Taurus women. I raised one. Sapiosexual, yes. The men kryptonite. Isn't it funny, Angel Eyes, how it, and this is, I think this is true with almost every zodiac sign. The male and the female versions of those zodiac signs are vastly different. Very, very different. Very different. That is true for Geminis. Gemini men and Gemini women, very different. There are some similarities for sure. Libra women and Libra men, a lot of similarities, but a little bit of difference, some differences for sure. Cancer men and Cancer women, vastly different. Aries women and Aries men, vastly different. I don't know a lot of Taurus men. I don't. So it's not fair for me to give us an opinion on the men versus the women. I dated a Taurus man one time, and I had a good experience with him, but that's just one. I mean, and that, I don't know a lot of Taurus men per se. Well, I will say I knew Uncle L. He's pretty solid. Uncle L was a pretty solid Taurus son. Jesse is a Taurus son. Angel Eyes, I read your comment, and you notice I'm just being really quiet. Okay, I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it. She says, I love Libra women, relatives, and all, but the Libra men. I dated 2 Libra men. I have never, and I have dated some, and let me just, for differentiation purposes, let me say that traditionally we associate combativeness with Aries, and I've dated a couple of Aries men, and I have dated a couple of Libra men. And I will tell you that the most combative motherfuckers I've ever met in my life were Libra males. Does that mean all Libra males pick fights and are combative? No, it does not. That is my experience, and I'll own that. And many times Libra men can be full of shit. They will tell you exactly what they want to hear to get in your drawers. I said it. There, I said it. Taurus man broke my heart 3 times. I'm sorry to hear that. I have heard some horror stories like that, Angel Eyes. I have a Libra uncle. Thought he knew everything and couldn't be convinced of anything, but he believes his own beliefs and so loud. Wow. You'd like to make up words, Derek? Oh, Lord. Me and an Aries sun never saw it. Yeah. I think I definitely don't see myself dating on either side of the Aries Libra axis. If somebody's got strong Aries or strong Libra, I don't think I could vibe with that. I mean, I'm not going to ever say ever. And if somebody crossed my path and that was in their, in their chart, I would definitely not rule them out for it, but I would definitely have one eyebrow raised for a bit, for sure. I hate to say it. And I'm that way with Cancer men, and I hate to say it, but that's what burned me. And I know a lot of good Cancer men, but I know some real assholes that walk around with Cancer energy. So I can't discount that. I just found out about that. You just said, Karen. Oh, okay. Libra women broke my heart. Only second to Scorpio. Wow. Yeah, my catalyst was Cancer for sure. I've had pretty good experience with Scorpio. I got into a relationship with a Scorpio, I guess about 3 years ago. He was in a neighboring state in South Florida, arguably one of the most toxic people I've ever met, but he didn't really break my heart because it didn't last long enough. I realized that was a big fuck up, and I did not need to be there in that connection, and so I left. I left away from that. I cut that one out. One in Libra and the other in Scorpio. Boy, that's opposite ends of the spectrum, Derek. Oh, I can't stand those kind. Angel eyes, a person that's never had children telling you how to parent. Yeah, right. Well, hey, Buzz Morgan, what up? Well, welcome back. How you doing, sweetheart? Good to see. Speaking of great Virgo energy, we got some big Virgo vibes in the house now. Buzz is a Virgo, so is Birdie. So the Virgos are representing. I love Virgos, by the way. I know I've had some Virgos that I've known that were douche canoes, but a lot of solid people in my life have been Virgos. A lot of solid people. You're in ER. Don't just tell me that. Don't need 10 texts. That's funny, Angel. That's funny. 4 signs in a row. So you've got there's a name for that, Derek, and I can't remember it when your planets are heavily into one side of the chart, and I can't remember what it is. My chart is very watery in the houses. I have a grand water trine in the 4th, 8th, and 12th house. And very little of my chart is outside of those houses, the 4th, 8th, and 12th. I do have Venus in my 1st house, and my North Node in the 1st house. There are some other placements, but the major players are in water houses. Ward with my son daily. Wow, Jesse. Yeah, I am a closet Pisces. I'm just gonna be real. I've got four placements in my 12th house. My Sun, Jupiter, Mercury, and Mars are all in my 12th house. I don't know if it's moved yet, Angel Eyes, but it's been sitting on that 29th critical degree of Aries. Chiron has been for a while. If not, it's about to move into Taurus. And that's going to get real. That's going to get real. Things are about to get real. If you study up on the history of things that have happened in history when Chiron is in Taurus, it's pretty rough, collectively and individually. So very interesting you would bring that up. You can think that, Derek, Angel said. But yeah, let me ask. Let me ask it. Let me see, because I can't remember the date. Yes, 2 days ago. The rest of the story, Angel Eyes, it's not going to really heat up. Hey, Night Owl's Nest. Um, we're not doing reads. We're shooting the shit, but you are absolutely feel free to join in. But so, Angel Eyes, back to the Chiron transit. It made its first move into Taurus on June 19th. It will station back into Aries on in retrograde. It retrogrades, and it will hit Aries again on September 17th, and then it moves back to Taurus on April 14th of 2027. So we'll get a little flavor of Chiron and Taurus, but it'll start rocking and rolling really hard Taurus vibes in April of next year. That's usually how that works when that happens. Oh, wow, Jasmine. It's moving, but wonder what it means for those that had it in Aries. Yeah, so when it comes back a bit, usually that's about tying up loose ends related to the Aries transit. When it retrogrades back like that, that's what that means. Tying up loose ends. Did you forget anything? Do we need to talk about your self-worth and who you are and your identity and the wounds around your identity? Do we need to readdress that one more time? That's what would happen when that revisits like that. So the next lesson with Taurus has to do with, what do you value? Okay, now you know who you are, because we talked about Chiron and Aries. Chiron and Taurus is, what's your value? How do you value yourself? Do you have a self-esteem? No, really. Really, let's dig deep. Chiron never goes surface level on anything. Yeah, but it'll give us some hints as it's, coming into Taurus. It'll give us some hints for sure. But if you look back at historically, I'll give you a hint, Angel Eyes. Here's your hint. If you really want to go, are you a rabbit hole kind of person? Because I am. This is a rabbit hole that I went down a while back. It's called the Chiron and Taurus rabbit hole because I named it that. Taurus is about possessions, material things, making money. Chiron is our deepest wound, correct? Chiron was in Taurus during the Great Depression. That tracks, yeah? Yeah. I think it's going to affect all of us in different ways. Chiron and Aries definitely hit me. Chiron plays with everybody all the time, just in different ways. Chiron is about lack. Wounds around that, yeah. Yeah, with everything else going on in the astrology transits right now, this Chiron and Taurus is kind of like the nail in the coffin, so to speak. From a global standpoint, yes. Yes. Lilith and Aries and Jupiter, so tug of war, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, Lilith doesn't play too much either. Chiron and Gemini. Retrograde in the 5th house. Wow. That's tough. So you may have some childhood wounds. Being in Gemini, you probably also... Chiron in Gemini has to do with feeling like you can't speak up sometimes. Chiron in Gemini and Chiron in the 3rd house can manifest in lack. Oh, I said lack, Derek. L-A-C-K. Chiron in Gemini is going to be with expressing yourself, communication. But in the fifth house, it's going to probably have to do with early childhood wounds, playfulness, creativity, maybe some wounds around that. Putting yourself out there and then becoming embarrassed. Those would be the themes around Chiron and Gemini in the fifth. That's off the top of my head. Jasmine, how'd I do? That's off the top of my head. How did I do? Am I hitting on anything, Jasmine, or no? With its 5 little friends. Angel, you're hilarious. Chiron is fifth house place. Yes, yes, Birdie. Yes. Good things I took my time. And I know about yours, so yeah, Birdie. Really, Jasmine? She says, oh my God, nailing it. There you go. Sometimes, and this is more when you have Chiron in Gemini or the third house, it can even manifest with people having, now Saturn would do this too. It would speak, Saturn would more so speak to a delay in starting to talk as a young child, speech impediments, sometimes things of that nature, learning disabilities, ADHD, being on the spectrum. Those would be things that would be associated with Chiron in the third, probably more so, but maybe Gemini. Feeling like you can't speak, you can't talk, you can't express yourself. You've got so many things to say and you can't say them. It's like having duct tape over your mouth. More so the third than the fifth. But yeah. There you go, Jesse. That's powerful. Jesse says, good thing I took my time spending time with myself and being my own best friend. Never lose that best friend in yourself and you'll be fine. Because at the end of the day, your bestie's got you. That's powerful, Jesse. You said a lot when you said that. You said a lot when you said that. I find it hard to express myself. And the tough thing about Chiron is a wound that we're always working to heal. And we'll heal various aspects of it, but it really, really just is one of those things that just crops up from time to time. Now, another significant wound in the chart is Black Moon Lilith. And nobody talks about Black Moon Lilith enough. And let me tell you, if you don't deal with that wound, it will absolutely deal with you. And the difference is this. When your Chiron wound gets triggered, it hurts. And you know what it is. When Black Moon Lilith gets triggered and you've not worked on that, and that somebody pushes that button or steps in that pile of dog shit, it's like stepping on a landmine. You'll be blind with rage and you'll be destroyed half of the county before you know what hit you. That's how an unhealed Black Moon Lilith wound works. So it's serious. Black Moon Lilith, yes. Yes. That is worth researching. Your Black Moon Lilith, you need to get a handle on it. And I'm speaking from firsthand experience. Not too long ago, and I'm not going to give the specifics for reasons that need to best just be not said, but not long ago. And when I say not long ago, I mean within the past year, someone stepped on mine in a very innocent way. And I went ham. I went unhinged. And I didn't even know what the hell I had done until it was all over. And I sat down and went, maybe that wasn't such a good idea to do. That's Black Moon Lilith. That's how she rolls. Primal, unhinged, the ultimate I don't give a fuck who I hurt, including me. Yes. It's the ultimate I don't give a fuck. I'm going to destroy everything in my way, including me. That would be the way that an unhealed Black Moon Lilith would roll. And it just depends on what the wound is. For me, and I'll just be real vulnerable here, it's feeling controlled by men. And it's in my chart that way. It's feeling controlled and fenced in and limited by men. So I have that wound. So I am, guys, hear me out. You know the running joke about women? Not the worst thing you can say to a woman is calm down. Let me tell you, my reaction to that is like on steroids. And I'm better because I'm now aware and I get it. But it's telling me to calm down is like an atomic bomb. No woman likes it, but for me, my disdain of being told to calm down is, yeah, the head starts spinning. I become, enraged. And I have to know that about myself. I have to know that. If you don't take care of things when they are convenient, you'll have to deal with it when it's the most inconvenient. You are damn right. Hey, Lisa Lou, how you doing? Pisces Lilith, sensitive to abandonment, invincibility, and emotional manipulation. Yes. Yeah, don't try to manipulate or control me. Never tell a woman to calm down. Yeah, and for me, it's on steroids, and it's some daddy wounds. I don't mind telling y'all. It's daddy wounds and early relationship wounds. So it's a pattern, and because I didn't heal that daddy wound, then I went into relationships that would recreate that very same scenario where I dealt with controlling men who, I could just go on and on. Listen, my first husband used to lock me in a closet. You want to talk about men putting parameters on you and recreating a wound. Baby, I wrote the book on recreating wounds. Yeah. Absolutely. Throwing oil and boiling water. Yes. That's it. That's it, Derek. Or vice versa. You've got a fryer on the stove with oil in it and you put a couple of drops of water in it. Yeah, that. But yeah, that's now you know a little secret about me. That's my Lilith wound. That's my Lilith wound. Anyway, so yeah, that's why it's important to know these wounds and to be aware of them and to get ahead of them. Like Jesse said, get ahead of it. You went that way because of my water. Yeah. Okay, I get it, Derek. Yes, I get it. I'm heated. It's not for no reason. No wounds, just don't care for it. Yeah. Yeah, you like that independent. Exactly. Take care, Angel Eyes. Rest your beautiful mind. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, love. I'm going to get out of here, too. I'm tired. It's after midnight. After midnight. We gonna let it all hang out. I'm not. I'm fixing to go post up on my couch, prop up my feet, and eat something. I'm gonna go do what a Taurus Jupiter does best. I'm about to go self-care. I love you guys to the moon and back. I'll see you next time. This was fun. Thank y'all for the chat. Bye, y'all.